Nathan Christian Roar in Tampa died last year.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
You're dead.
Well, I guess.
Welcome to the Pixel Response Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to a podcast of olds. When we gathered around the microphones and no one other than ourselves was hearing it. And then we shared it with the world later once we kind of dressed it up a little bit and felt it was ready to go out there and make a man of itself. Metaphors. Bindle over its shoulder, heart full of dreams, podcasts. Hey, it's Pixel Response.
There is something more personal about it in a way. Where it's just kind of like, we're just doing this thing, and then like we have to see if people will accept it again.
Back then? Or...
Yeah, well, and now. Kind of.
I guess so,
I mean,
yeah.
although, like, we know people accept it now.
Right. There's a little more encouragement than just kind of... I think we're just talking to a brick wall, but at least we're talking, so that's cool.
Like the first, 100 episodes?
Yeah, something like that. And that eventually when there's stats, it's like, yeah, literally no one listened to this one. Oh, cool. That's too bad.
Were a few like that.
Yeah.
Is just like, why are we doing this?
I mean, we've had people subsequently go back in our back catalog, and that's always encouraging.
Sure.
I'm a kind of person who does that, too.
I've done that. I've actually done that with ours, and I hate it. I hate listening to us back then. It's terrible. It's really bad.
I haven't done it with ours specifically. I just mean, when I find a podcast I like starting early in it if I really like it. Which makes it annoying when I find a podcast that doesn't really cater to that and deletes all of their... they basically only keep 20 in their fresh iTunes kind of lineup.
Podtoid actually did that.
They'd kind of clean out their back catalog and probably for bandwidth concerns.
To this day, online, you cannot find officially the first 75 or 6 episodes.
That sucks, dude.
So the way I have them is that people who saved them put them up onto torrents and stuff and share them that way. Yeah. I mean... It sucks, though, doing it that way. Holy shit.
Yeah, the one experience, really the one I was thinking of is the Mega 64 podcast. They kind of primarily consider themselves a video podcast, so they don't really care about their audio backlog, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's basically if it weren't for dedicated people in the community who post giant catalogs of them on the forums, some of those would be inaccessible. But even then, though, the way they were up last time I was downloading them was you basically had to individually download them from Mega Upload or something.
That is the same way that they've done it with Podtoid. And
so it's just
I have them now. I'm thinking of just doing a torrent of all of them. All the originals.
Yeah, just hey, here, if you want to just giant, huge thing of all of it, here's the way to help people out.
I don't see why,
I'd download those first 100, it would, tomorrow, if that was an easy thing to do, but... It's
maybe... I wonder if I could just, email Nero or whatever the admin for that site, the runner of it, just be listen, here's a zip, fucking host them. Just throw them on the site somewhere. Leave them go overnight.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it'll murder your bandwidth a little bit, but hey, people will be visiting your site.
But, will it? I don't think so. They do video stuff now. This is all old-school audio.
Small audio files. What is that in total? A gig or two?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one high-definition video is a gig. So
I guess I'm a little nervous about, the old hotspot. I couldn't find it last time I was searching for it. The GameSpot podcast. So, I don't... I know I have an old iPod that I can get fixed that has a bunch of them on there. So I have a means of listening to it, should I need to. But I don't know. I'm a little sad that those are kind of evaporating on the internet. In fact, a bunch of the videos I was way into on GameSpot are kind of just gone now.
Yeah.
So, Let's GameSpot, that was a weekly wrap-up show. I don't know if those are even around. But anyway, sorry, what were you going to say about luckily... the
I was
internet.
gonna say, but luckily for us anyway, anytime that people want to look up, like the 9% of people that already have Dwayne Johnson cocaine, there will be something there
Yeah.
on our, on our site. There's
Yeah,
such
we were
dumb
just
things.
investigating the weird routes in which people found our site. So
Pokemon hentai is
Yep.
like one of the top ones.
your number one source for Pokemon hentai.
And Ween? And
And
Pac-Man
Ween.
2. Pac-Man 2 is a huge one, apparently.
That was confusing to me because that is one of like the pieces of content on our site that I just kind of don't understand. Like this is a review for a game from like 20 years ago. Who needs that? Everybody needs to know what's the deal with Pac-Man 2. Unfortunately, you had the foresight to like commission someone to put that up. So
it's weird because when I say like the top, I'm not talking about like the words Pac-Man 2 brought in like 90%.
no,
I'm talking about people have found it by looking up Pac-Man 2 altogether as one word, Pac-Man space 2, Pac space man space 2, Pac-Man space 2, The New Adventures. Like this is the way people find us. Is by
all right.
being named
So
Pac-Man 2.
I think we should maybe consider Pac-Man 2 for a future Game Dudes feature at this point.
I am kind of wondering if I could get away with a shirt.
Like a Pac-Man 2 shirt and just
Yeah.
hope Namco just does not know.
Yeah,
Which they
well, yeah,
for a long time,
I was gonna
anyway.
say, like, let's be honest, they wouldn't.
But by the time they do, the damage would have been done. Like it would just be like, no, the shirts have existed for like 4 years, so
Right,
we will
exactly.
stop selling them now. Done.
Same thing with like Centret for Murphy.
Oh yeah.
What sounds better to you, Murphy Hype or Murphy Law? Murphy's Law.
Well, Murphy's Law is already like an established phrase. Murphy Hype is kind of exclusive to people wanting me to play Pokemon. So
then, like on the front, Murphy Hype or whatever, and then on the back, maybe like Murphy's Law, and then just like make up some dumb thing that
Although-
relates only to this.
I guess the fact that it's a picture of a Centret and it's Murphy is already an inside joke that
Yeah,
I didn't even consider because that is just who that is to me. But that is not true for anyone else other than our listeners. So I guess
yeah.
either
The thing I'm wondering is that like, would you get in trouble for that? Because you're using a Pokemon on a shirt.
Well, I mean, it's bootleg T-shirts the same way. There's like fake Bart Simpsons and stuff. And
Well, this is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking
stop
is that there's stuff like T-Fury and stuff that where artists will draw some weird parody stuff.
or like weird
And-
fan art. Like it's like
Yeah.
licensed stuff, and it's just like, wait. I mean, if this shirt is only up for 48 hours, there's no way they like contacted Hasbro or BBC or whoever and got
I mean,
permission for this. So it's probably
Most
just
of those shirts are just like images from DeviantArt, I think, thrown like onto a
yeah,
shirt
it's just like
and then
this is a
printed.
cool design for a shirt I came up with. And so,
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's less legality, red tape, business in the way than we thought.
But then
Internet.
the part I'm getting held up with is that yeah, sure, we do that or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Then one day we're at PAX.
Yep.
Wearing that shirt, and we go up to see the new Legend of Zelda thing, and reps from Nintendo are like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's my bootleg Pokemon shirt. Who cares?
Right. This is
Like
what
they
I'm
don't know we
getting
made
at.
it. They just know we have it. Like we could have bought that from some street vendor.
Yeah, actually,
Right?
you're not wrong. Yeah,
Like I went down to the boardwalk. I thought this was a Pokemon shirt, and I bought it.
you mean
And I
this
love
is not
Pokemon.
officially licensed by Nintendo?
Oh, geez, I'm
And-
so sorry, you guys.
Maybe if you guys had an internet presence with your consoles, I would have known.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I only play games that I can connect with other people, so I didn't even know this was a Pokemon. Or, like, what did you call it? A Pocket Monster?
Pocket Monsters?
Yeah.
Actually, hey, unique segue opportunity. Did you know that in Sopranos season 2, they talk about stealing a truck full of Pokemon cards? And they say
Really?
it like that. They say Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah,
Well,
it
because
was
they're
like
Italian.
yeah, they're Italians.
Mm-hmm. Italians. That's right.
Yeah. I chuckled a couple times. Each time it was mentioned, I was just like, Pokemon. It was the year 2000. That was like a hot thing at the time. So
It still is.
it still is, but like this was the initial hype wave building.
No, I don't think you understand. Besides Pac-Man 2, Pokemon hentai is the top search. Like
for sure.
It's
I guess,
still popular.
But the cards, are they popular?
Okay. Probably not. No.
Like I saw a dozen of them just strewn across the parking lot near where I used to work. So
you took a picture of one of them.
I did. I shared this kind of travesty. I was like, oh man, when I was in grade 6, this would be a really sad thing, but I guess they're just garbage now.
You didn't pick it up, did you?
I didn't pick them up. I didn't check if there were any rares in there or foils. But
what would be rare in the Pokemon universe for a card?
Oh man,
like
honestly
Pikachu on a surfboard or something. Apparently that's a thing.
Really? I don't know. Like I seem to recall, for some reason standing out in my mind, in grade 6, a Poliwhirl foil card was like exciting to somebody. And I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, so
right now.
Surfing Pikachu is a lightning type basic Pokemon card. It is one of the Wizards Black Star promos and part of the Rising Rivals expansion.
Of course.
I guess that means it's rare.
So we should probably, we'll tag that in this episode, and then we'll get more Pokemon listeners.
Actually, I do remember hearing something about that. I think, if this isn't rare, sue me, I don't fucking care, or no Pokemon. Second of all, somebody was saying the reason it's rare is because Pikachu's riding a surfboard, and he cannot learn Surf, which is a water move, because he's a lightning type.
Okay, so it's just kind of an ill-conceived idea.
Well, he's riding a surfboard, and it's a water move. So, that's amazing, I guess. I don't know.
That's amazing. I'm looking at pictures of Pikachu surfing right now, so it is kind of amazing. He's got, a headband. Stupid.
The one on the card is such a bad-looking picture, too. It's so dumb-looking.
It sure is. Never mind. Yeah, I see it now. Wizards promo 28. Surfing Pikachu 50 HP.
Maybe that's why it's rare, is because it looks fucking dumb.
That may have helped. And then I guess fan art has embraced this. Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
Pikachu. Surfing Pikachu. #.
Yeah. Have you played Pokemon yet?
For this thing. No, I haven't. But hey, we're both going to be in the same building tomorrow for some reason.
We're both going to be in the same building every week.
I know. Not as often as this week, though. This is a rare opportunity for Pokemon.
2 times.
3 times, isn't it? Aren't you back Saturday?
Oh, yes. Okay, so...
Exactly.
I guess, the newest, we're working together now. It's official now.
So we can't... I don't want to, get too specific about anything we're doing.
We don't have to get specific about the job, but, we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's an office job. I've never had one. And it's kind of fun seeing how many of those kind of Dilbert jokes and stuff are just kind of oh, okay. Coffee machines. People making coffee, water coolers, staples.
Oh, wait, the whole, didn't you get the memo thing, or, ha 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 memos?
Yeah.
That's seriously a thing that happens No, this is seriously a thing that's, every time I go in, there's a new, update to one of our procedures. Could you read it? Every time I walk in.
Stuff to look forward to.
That's a thing.
Those office space jokes.
Oh, wait, why did you send that? You can't do that. Didn't you get that memo? It's just oh, don't use those words. Don't do it.
Yeah, so many things. Honestly, paper clips. I've never used paper clips. Ever.
I used over 20 today.
Exactly. Now I get to be part of that crowd where, business supplies suddenly make sense. All these kind of, I don't know, jokes about stamping stuff and, filing things and those little baskets and all this stuff. It's just no, that's all real, and it's here.
You're start going to get annoyed when people take your stapler and pens.
Yeah, because there's, one good stapler. There's actually one good one.
So that one good... Oh, the one good one is our supervisors. But, the one that worked well, that I had for a long time...
Yeah.
As of today, just seized up and won't move now. It won't staple. So that's in the
kind of
garbage.
at a Target looking for good staplers, and they don't have those ones. So
No. So that one's in the garbage, and I have a new one. So tomorrow you will get to see the new hotness.
oh, sweet. It's like the same kind of, you know, the way Harry Potter kids talk about the latest and greatest brooms, staplers in real life. That's
Yeah.
the actual real world animal.
I think I've actually said before that, like, we work at the airport sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, that's probably as specific as we'll get, but, you liking it so far? I mean, you were there for 2 days, 3 days?
4 days. Not that that's...
Right. No, wait, 5 maybe, even.
No, I think only 4. I mean, I came down for the interview and stuff, but 4 days, I think.
Right. At 10 hours every day for 40 hours. That's right. Yeah.
Thereabouts, yeah. It's so different than what I've ever done before, so that's inherently kind of exciting. And I guess just kind of, it is maybe one of the few jobs I've had where you feel like you need to perform your role or else it just won't happen.
Right.
So,
like, if I go home right now, things are fucked. And it's going to stay fucked.
Yeah, so, like, if, you know, there's a kind of pressure there, but that kind of makes it a little more stimulating in a way. Like, it's not
there's a reason why I got out of bed and came here today.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I gotta get to the office. Like, that sentence could actually happen now.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's headaches in my future, too, but I am feeling more positive than negative right now, so...
Good.
Yeah.
Also, apparently you're doing well, I hear.
Okay.
So
I hope that is yeah, okay, good.
Our supervisor is extraordinarily happy with you so far.
Yay.
Which is good.
Like jump, freeze frame, credits.
Well, because I said, like, so he's doing okay. She's like, do way better than okay. I was like, okay.
All right, good.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Although you did have to go home early that one day. She sent you home because you're a pussy and you couldn't finish the job.
Yeah, that was that. I think that's exactly what was said, but it's kind of cool that they're being nice about it. Facetious. I think we were just kind of done for the most part.
You weren't, but she said she felt bad for you, so she sent you home because she didn't want to get you overloaded on your second day.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, see, I don't care, and you will be doing everything tomorrow.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was getting a little like I did something wrong again. I don't know, like a bit overwhelmed. Maybe once there.
Maybe because like you had said before that you've been working a lot of part-time hours, like at other jobs.
Yeah, so
like
10
just
hours
being in the same place for 10 hours for 4 days is kind of like a lot now.
Like around hour 7, it's just like, all right, we're done, right? And it's just like, no, we're not, brain. There's like 3 more left, and there's still stuff to do in that time. It's like, oh, okay.
But there is downtime. There is that.
Yes.
So.
And in that downtime, I read a novella called Chess.
Good?
It was really good. It was really
okay.
good. That's kind of why I'm bringing it up. It's the reason I read it is that movie I talked about for some, like, just tried to talk about anyway, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Tried to explain why I thought it was funny and good and everything. That movie was inspired by this author named Stefan Zweig, and his writings is basically what Wes Anderson credits at the end there. And this is a short kind of story by him. I think the last one he ever did, because it was published shortly after his death. And yeah, it's just a really, like, I mean, it's 80 pages, so it's like really easy to just kind of recommend to pretty much anybody. It's like, here's a little story, it's cool. And you're just like, okay. And it's really short. So I would kind of encourage anyone to just take a look at it. I don't know, like, if I explain everything that it's about, it would kind of ruin what little is in the story, maybe, but it's about high-level chess players, but they're in this kind of... They're good at chess for extremely different reasons, and the one guy's story is really, really just a nice... You get, like, a good inside a character's head while they're basically experiencing sensory deprivation kind of stuff. Like, they're basically in a situation where they have nothing stimulating at all in their environment, so they just gravitate to whatever is there, and it happened to be chess, and they just become fully obsessed with chess in like an insane way, and it's kind of awesome. So,
cool.
Yeah,
sounds cool. Actually, yeah.
No, it was a neat little read. So yeah, there you go. Chess, available now.
I guess I should say also some changes are coming about because of our working together thing.
Mm-hmm. And we're already kind of.
This is one of them.
Yeah. recording in a studio. Not really, but off air.
Yeah.
That is
so away from people, from prying eyes.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this? It's kind of weird again, right? To do this again.
I guess, but this is kind of how other podcasting folks do it, like Dad Strength. That is a show.
See, on my end, it's weird because I feel like there's a bunch of stuff I should be doing right now, like making sure this is okay, making sure this is okay, like prepping something for the next thing we're going to talk about,
kind of keeping
like
an
the
eye
video
on
and stuff. The chat, like making sure the stream's actually still going, making sure the audio is still recording, and getting like video ready.
Yeah.
For something we're going to talk about. So this is just kind of like, no, this is just a conversation right now. Mm-hmm. And it's weird.
I don't mind that, though. I hope everyone out there is okay with it, too. But, I mean, I know, like, being in the chat and kind of having that community meeting every week is part of the fun. But hopefully that can happen just in streams and stuff. Like, you still do your regular Friday stream, right?
I try to, yeah. Friday morning live.
Okay.
So, FML.
I don't know. Stuff like that will probably the community can gather and talk in that capacity. I mean, and Twitter is ongoing, so you can talk
forever. It will never go offline.
Nope. 8th most popular website.
That's right.
Yeah.
Way above Pornhub.
Yeah. Like 84.
And a little less above Xvideo, we found out.
Yeah. Hottest hot site on the internet.
That's what they're called now?
That's what they're called, hot sites.
All right, fair enough.
Speaking of the number 84, I don't know. I keep trying to jack it. Hey, Brazil, have you ever seen that?
Actually, no.Movie? I've been wanting to for a long time now.
Okay. It's kind of like 1984, the George Orwell story. So that's kind
I hear it's amazing.
It is in some ways, but it's I mean, have you seen some Terry Gilliam movies in your time? Like 12 Monkeys or
yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think of like that's kind of the biggest one that is easiest to be like, yeah, that's a good movie. Time Bandits, maybe.
Wait. Which one's Time Bandits?
A bunch of little like dwarf dudes kidnap this kid.
No.
And weird, wacky, magical adventure. Okay.
I was thinking in my head just bandits.
People. No.
So
it's not that.
Yeah, no.
Meaning of Life, the Monty Python.
Sure. Yeah.
He did kind of the opening thing with that, like with the businessmen in the giant building that's like floating around and like weird, wacky stuff happens.
And I think he wrote Fear and Loathing, right? The screenplay.
He directed it too.
Oh, did he direct it?
The movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fear and Loathing, I guess. Yeah, I guess that was another big one I should have probably thought of sooner. That was one I hadn't seen for a while. But I did eventually. Anyway, Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger.
Actually, yes. I did see that one.
Yeah, that's one too. I don't know. Terry Gilliam, I have found just less than miraculous, like less than amazing, but always sort of interesting, at least like visually, and there's a certain kind of sense of style and manic energy in them that are still fun to see. But like the stories just almost don't matter or just kind of fall apart over the course of them sometimes. I don't know. It's very specific kind of problem, but I've never been like completely blown away by one of his movies, including Brazil, even though there's a lot of good stuff in there. But that one's probably one of the stronger ones, really. But I guess I can't get into kind of like specifics without ruining some plot points or whatever. But I guess like they're very easy to appreciate in terms of just like set design and like kind of just imagination on screen. There's a lot going on there. But when you actually try to kind of sum up what happens in the story, it's like not that much, really. So
okay, yeah.
Brazil is basically bureaucracy gone awry, and a very simple mistake ends up kind of snowballing into just this big kind of misunderstandings and all this stuff. And it's kind of basically like one thing happens, and then the consequences of that thing happening take like 2 hours and change to get out. And it's kind of all seen from the perspective of this one guy who works for the Ministry of Information kind of thing and is like just trying to finish this job, and then eventually gets a personal interest in what's going on, and things kind of spin out of control. But I guess to go into more detail again would kind of ruin everything. But I don't know. It is visually pretty cool. There's a lot of kind of British actors and like of some note, or just actors in small roles that are just like, oh, weird, it's Robert De Niro. Oh, it's Bob Hoskins. Like just kind of
Hoskins, yeah.
People pop in and out of that movie. Like Jim Broadbent was in there, and I didn't even know that. And I saw this movie before. Like it was like watching it. It's like, oh wait, that's that guy. Oh, weird. But yeah, that was kind of a thing we did, and it's of some interest. But I guess one of the things I want to just like, Brittany and I just watched a couple trailers for some of his more recent movies. He has one coming out like now or just came out, depending on your region, I guess, called The Zero Theorem. That is also a sci-fi that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz plays the main guy, so that's kind of a big point in its favor for me. However, it's like, since CGI became really easy to do, like, the thing I just kind of complimented Brazil for, which is like the visuals and production design, that has kind of become very blatantly like green screen looking kind of stuff, which loses some of its kind of charm for me. Like, there's all sorts of great practical effects in Brazil, like just weird shots and perspective stuff, and just like models and weird costumes and strange kind of computer contraption things that are practical real things. When you kind of make that all look a little more fake, it kind of feels less awesome. So that definitely has me nervous about his more recent films. Because I mean, it's like he's apparently not an easy director to work with, so a lot of people aren't super into financing his films and giving him huge budgets. So I get that you can do a lot more with a lot less on a green screen, but it's kind of a shame. Like, I don't know if that might lose some of its extra flavor.
Yeah, it totally will.
Stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of a point of concern for me. But anyway, Brazil is interesting and worth seeing, and there's kind of Office specific stuff that resonated with me this time that wouldn't have before, like just forms and stamping stuff and all that. But not in a bad way necessarily, but that's mainly because we're not involved in an industry that has, well, torture. I mean, they basically like law enforcement, all that stuff is kind of what they're ultimately pulling the strings of with their kind of filing and reporting and all this stuff. So it's just like, yeah, this guy's a criminal, hit send or whatever, put it in a pneumatic tube, and then someone gets like a bag put over their head and put in a warehouse somewhere. Like, that is the industry Brazil is dealing with, which is pretty serious business. So if you make a mistake there, that's really bad.
Did you know that J.K. Rowling wanted him to do Harry Potter?
Huh.
Yeah, but apparently Warner Brothers was just like, fuck that, this has to be family friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like, I have to kind of give him some credit for, like, he always fights for his vision to be the thing to get to theaters or whatever. Like, apparently, just, like, going back decades, like, stuff would get delayed and he'd get in fights with producers and all this stuff. And I guess Lost in La Mancha is kind of the main thing I'm thinking of, because that is that movie about the movie he never finished, which is the Don Quixote movie with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that movie is definitely informing a lot of my perception of who Terry Gilliam is, because you get to just see him kind of throwing tantrums and digging his heels in about stuff that seems kind of trivial. Like, it's just like, no, I won't recast this guy. It's like, but his back's broken. Like, we need to start shooting. And it's like,
Yeah.
no. And you're just like, okay, well, we're not going to make the movie then. And packing it up. It's like, okay. And that's the end of that. Like, it's kind of unfortunate. But, at the same time, he kind of has some wacky sense of what he wants to see happen on the screen. So I guess if he was handed Harry Potter, what would have come out would have been so not at all like a direct adaptation of those books. And I don't know if it would have been nearly as billions of dollars and all that. Like I totally respect the studio head's decision to be like, no, we want this to be a commercial thing. Like, if we're going to spend $150 million, we want to see a return on that. Because that's the other thing. I don't understand why anyone past a certain point is still giving him millions of dollars. Because, like, his movies haven't done well for a long time. Like, it's kind of a weird case in the movie industry of just like, well, yeah, your last 4 movies were flops, but here's $20 million, and you're just like, okay, like it's kind of different logos and different studios every time. Like he's never locked into a contract with anybody because I guess he's kind of a little stubborn, but I don't, whatever. Interesting.
You want to hear some things he's turned down, like the opportunities he's had to direct, but turned down?
Was it like Star Wars and stuff, or
no? Well, of course not. Of course not.
Well, I don't know. It's like early '80s. He was like, I mean, David Lynch got offered it at some point, but okay. What?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay.
Forrest Gump.
So Robert Zemeckis' career, apparently. But okay.
Alien Resurrection.
That actually did get ended. Like that was directed by Genet, who's like a weird French dude. But okay, I guess so.
Braveheart.
Weird. I thought that was like from day one.
Why did he get so many things? Like
he was. I mean, around
Troy. Remember Troy?
I do remember Troy.
He was offered the chance to direct that. Apparently, he stopped reading it after a couple pages and told them to go fuck themselves.
Oh, that seems like something he'd do, I guess. Huh.
So, if you want an asshole that can make visually interesting stuff with not a lot of substance, he's your guy.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a fair summation, but they're at least visually interesting, and he's kind of the only one doing them. So, yeah. There's some I haven't seen. Like, there's some I'm kind of curious about. Like, Tideland is supposed to be terrible, but I'm still kind of, like, a little curious about it. It's like Jeff Bridges dies from a heroin overdose or something, and his, like, estranged teenage daughter was staying with him and just has, like, weird kind of emotional breakdown after that, and weird visuals happen. There's, like, an upside-down tree on the cover. Yeah.
I didn't realize he did Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah.
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
The last Heath Ledger movie. Which...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we watched trailer for that one, too, and it looks like, again, weird, wacky CG kind of doesn't come across as weird and wacky as actual practical stuff. So, a lot of big people in it, though. Johnny Depp and Colin Farrell and Jude Law. So,
yep.
Hey.
But,
yeah. I have yet to see
Brazil
one of his...
you liked, huh?
Brazil I do like, but it's kind of with an asterisk after it of just, like...
Yeah.
The story falls apart, though. But...
No, but, like, the way people talk about that movie is that it's brilliant in its filmmaking. Like, people that say they like that movie are the type of people that say, who gives a fuck? Like, it's film. Like, this is doing weird shit and, like, crazy effects, and everything still holds up really well for a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah, I will totally give it that. Like, it is a visually dazzling kind of thing at times, and it is certainly kind of distinct in how it looks and does stuff. So it is that for sure. I guess it's just kind of how much will you relate to stuff or kind of be personally invested in the central relationships and characters in it. Not as much maybe as some other things, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
Brittany's typing something.
It's pretty good. So, yeah. Okay. What else did you do? There must be something else.
Oh, right. Brittany just typed the name of another film that we watched, which was, I guess, yeah. Okay, so guess who's coming to dinner?
Okay, so the original?
Yeah, not the Ashton Kutcher, Bernie Mac. Guess who?
Because that's the one I saw.
Amazing. I'm kind of curious what that is like. But
okay.
Actually, yeah. Let's open
what do you
up
think
with
it's
Bernie
like?
Mac. Like it's set in like 2003ish, right? So it is kind of the flip of the 60s movie, which is black family has white boyfriend over, and they're not that into it.
Right. So they treat him like shit, and Ashton Kutcher is just an annoying piece of shit. So
okay,
like whatever.
That's, I guess, maybe not the same then, because like Sidney Poitier is actually very educated and charming, and makes a good impression on people, and lessons are learned and such, and prejudices are faced and all that over the course of like a single day. That single day kind of concept, though, in the movie is like maybe the thing that bothered me the most about it. It's like Actually, no. I guess it's really just the relationship in question is super weird, not for its racial combination, but because they have known each other for 10 days and want to get married like in 3 weeks. So maybe it's just like a time difference thing of just like, no, yeah, that happened all the time in the 60s. You'd meet someone and you're like, I like you, let's go get married. And then it would happen like a month later. Maybe that was just really commonplace 50 years ago.
Yeah, because you were expected to die at any time.
I don't know. Like it's just
Death is around the corner. You are going to die.
Yeah, like everyone was smoking and like driving recklessly and drinking all the time, and they just didn't know any of those things.
And like
consequential,
terrible wars all the time.
Yeah, Vietnam was going on in '68,
so you were expected to die.
I guess so.
That's what you're gonna do.
So
you're gonna go and die for your country.
Yeah, even if you're just kind of a 23-year-old college fund kid or a
dude, if you're 23, you should have been dead.
But like, she's a lady.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
the
it's
minute
like
you were
drafted.
16, you should have been drafted. You should have been on the front line. And if you're gay, too bad.
Yeah,
you're dead. You're all dead. That's
See,
what
so
it's like.
If the 60s really was like that, maybe that makes more sense. But I don't know. It just seemed kind of like the central relationship existed more as a plot device than as like a genuine thing that made sense. So it's not like I'm rooting for this couple. It's more just like, this is weird. Like, this just wouldn't happen. Like, this wouldn't happen outside of a movie about this happening.
So was it like not necessarily you're rooting for the couple, but you're rooting against everyone else?
No, like I'm just kind of, I wasn't just that, I didn't root for anybody then. I was just kind of like watching what happened. Like, it's just kind of like, all right, well now this pair of characters are going to have a conversation about it. Oh, okay.
Oh, I got it. You were watching a movie. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like just kind of watching it play out was still kind of interesting just because of the performances and kind of some of the exchanges that happen. Like, you know, you have different generations speaking to each other very candidly about just their differences. So it's like dad criticizing his son for this rash decision, but then son criticizing his dad for kind of just not being supportive and stuff. And you're just kind of like, okay, you know, that, you know, was a well acted scene and kind of had a couple like heartfelt moments and or whatever. So that was a good scene. In isolation, there are very good scenes, but like the overall thing is kind of contingent on this relationship being of importance, or like, you know, no, this should happen. These characters are in love and no one should stop that, especially not because of racial prejudice. That's weird. And it's just like, no. I have issues with this relationship, but it's not because I'm racist. It's because this is a really ill-conceived, like fast-paced, little, like not fleshed out, not
because you're racist
thing. Maybe. No, I don't know. No, like, I don't know. It was like Sidney Poitier seemed like a kind of well-considered character in a way. Like, he had some backstory and had some personality. The girl he falls in love with, though, Joanna, in the film, played by Catherine Houghton, who I didn't know was an actress, she just seems like her one thing is she is really not racist at all. And that's like the one thing. Like, she doesn't have much of a personality or interests.
In that time period, though, that would have been pretty big.
Yeah, like, it's like, oh no, that's actually really impressive to him that he is not being judged at all by her. And it's like, no, that's cool. But like, what is she really about? Like, what is she into? What did she study in college?
Who cares? Who gives a fuck? She is a woman in the 60s. Nobody cared.
And I guess she's like 14 years younger than him. So he's like, yeah. And he tells his dad, and he's like, yeah. But he doesn't know she's white at the time. But
like, did his dad care?
Yeah, like, that's the other thing. Like,
see, that's weird because usually black guys like do terrible things to white women. So,
well, they're very worried that they're like, you know, it's like, why are you bringing all this like potential problems on yourself? Like, people are gonna judge you weird and think you're like just kind of be rude to you. Why would you invite that in society? Like, you know, that's kind of the thing they're objecting to, is like, you are inviting a world of hurt, essentially, is what they're saying.
It's kind of nice to hear that the stereotype, though, isn't the like 90s stereotype, where it's just like, no, just throw that brother a basketball or something terrible.
Yeah, there's
like
none of that.
Like, the stereotype isn't like, why don't you just like go to the big leagues and become an NBA star like your daddy or something? Instead, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, this is gonna go bad for you.
Yeah,
You're well educated.
I mean, in a way, yeah, there are still some conversations that seem very kind of relevant still. But man, there's some scenes that just are like totally weird. Like there is a scene where the guy who's delivering the steaks shows up at their house and then just kind of starts dancing and dances to the door. And then this like, I don't know who she is, like a maid or something. Like one of the household's maids comes out and she's in like a miniskirt. She's dancing, and then they just dance across the parking lot and get in the van and like drive away. And you're just like, what was the point of that? Like, what was that? I think it's like there's little bits in this movie that are just being like, this is what the kids are doing. These these kids are so much beyond even this. Like they're so not racist. They're just dancing around and having fun. Because like the maid's daughter or whatever is a black girl, and he's like an Italian guy or something. So they're just like dancing around, and she's like, okay, like I think that might have been the point of that scene, but it just seems like weirdly out of place. Like the rest of the movie is like very serious conversations and like family drama, and then there's just like goofy dancing, and there's a scene where they go to like an ice cream parlor, and there's just a bunch of kids there, and they're in a mild car accident, and a dude yells at them, and then they leave. Like the daughter's parents, and it's just like what was like Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy just get in this kind of car accident and eat some ice cream. I don't know. There's like scenes that just seem weirdly less cohesive as part of the whole thing than. But I mean, that makes them stand out, so I will remember that ice cream exchange, but I don't know why it was there.
You want to know something that's not cohesive and is out of place?
What's that?
Somebody actually found our site by typing in, who is the guy that said, fuck me in the ass, Randy, in the film 21 and over?
Well, we have a review of that film on our website, so...
With what keywords?
21 and over.
Guy, fuck, ass, Randy?
Maybe just the word fuck and 21 and over might both be in that review.
That's such a weird, specific thing, though. Like, that's the whole search phrase. Who is the guy that said, fuck me in the ass, Randy, in the film 21 and over?
That's really... You're right. It's like somebody saw that movie, weeks later was trying to explain this really funny scene in it, and couldn't remember who the guy was, and had to find out.
And they're just like, Google, who is the guy that said, fuck me in the ass, Randy, in the film 21 and over? Pixelresponse.com.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, here's a review. Maybe it's in here. Scroll. Dang it. Back. Get Yahoo Answers or something. Like, who knows?
You know what? I do feel a little bit better knowing that it's only one search result for that, and there wasn't two people that found it.
Okay.
But we are the top. If you Google who is the guy that said "fuck me in the ass, Randy" in the film 21 and over with no punctuation whatsoever, we are the top result.
Awesome.
Oh, and I see why. Because right in there is a line he put, like the villain's closeted homosexual posse, open bracket, fuck me in the ass, Randy, close bracket.
Wow. So that phrase
is
actually commented upon in our... Great.
And it helped somebody out.
You're welcome, internet searcher. There you go. So yeah,
sure, right there.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Interesting, but dated, but of course it is. But really, yeah, it's just kind of that, I don't know if it's a casting problem or they just need to write more for the daughter, but that kind of made me a little less invested in the whole story. But hey, it was like Spencer Tracy's last movie, and he gets like really emotional in a couple scenes, and Katharine Hepburn's like crying a lot. So if you want to see sadness from the late 60s.
Bitches be crazy.
Yeah. I guess speaking of Criterion Collection films, because that's two of them right there.
Uh-huh.
We also watched Rushmore, the Wes Anderson's second feature film.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's good.
What? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just... Like, I've kind of, like, saw it a long time ago and have generally just held it in, like, yeah, that's probably my favorite movie he's made, because, like, Bill Murray's in it, and it's kind of funny, and there's some moments I could remember. But after seeing Grand Budapest, like, it was like, okay, well, let's rewatch some of these. And I don't know, it just seems a little, like, something about the main character, Max Fisher, like, I just kind of inherently don't like. Like, he's, like, that kind of overachieving asshole that shouldn't exist. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you remember, but he's kind of like in all these clubs and kind of just, wise beyond his years and making plays at age 16 or age 10 or something. Like he wrote a play in grade 2 is kind of one of the things. It's just like, this is so ridiculous, and in a way that's kind of bothering me. It's not like entertaining to me. I don't know. I didn't like that guy, and he's like the star of the show. So that's kind of a big problem. Do you remember Max Fisher? Do you have any?
Sic Transit Gloria.
What?
Glory fades.
Okay. Latin. Wait, but he's like faking all that too, because he got Latin out of school and then got it back in to impress that teacher. Right?
Yep.
Anyway. Like Bill Murray's kind of funny at times in it. Just dealing with...
Is he?
Sometimes.
Is he?
A little bit. He's like hiding cigarettes and like beer cans in this like towel thing in a hospital.
Oh, you're right. That old gag. That's a real stitch.
That's a good one.
I'm trying so hard to keep my sides from bursting.
I know. It's
thinking about it.
It's kind of the low-key way he makes you laugh, Yeah.
Or the low-key way he doesn't, I guess. But, okay.
Just kind of...
Anyways, so, yeah, you rewatched that.
I rewatched it. It doesn't have the kind of stately qualities of his later... Like, I guess it's like, oh no, he's grown as a filmmaker. Like, that was kind of clear to me after, like, I watched movie 2, and then I've seen movie 8 recently, and it's like, okay, no, there actually has been change. Like, I was kind of under the impression he was making basically the same thing all the time, and Rushmore is way less considered and, like, thoughtfully shot and put together. Like, there's some of that, but it is not kind of as it is not as formal as his later stuff, which I actually kind of like. I actually like how formal it is now, I shall be clear. Like, it seems a little just aimless here. And I'm just going to stand by that. Like, Rushmore is not as good as you remember, fans out there.
Okay.
So,
or like any of his movies, really?
Maybe that's true. I don't know. Next is Royal Tenenbaums that we're going to take a look at. And I remember liking parts of it, but kind of I don't remember a lot of things about that movie. I basically remember the one scene where Luke Wilson...
He tries to kill himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like the one scene in that movie that really, really stands out.
And Hey Jude.
I don't remember that, even. That's a good song, though.
It is a good song. It is not the original Hey Jude, I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm thinking of something different. That song is definitely in that movie.
Weirdly, I remember another scene, but it's only because it was featured in an Oscar clip, and I watched that Oscar ceremony several times. It is Gwyneth Paltrow smoking on the ceiling, talking to her brother, and there are hidden cigarettes up there. Like, yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Owen Wilson co-wrote that movie, and in the screenplay nomination thing, that is the clip they showed. I remember that. I don't know why. I apologize. But I used to record the Oscars on tape and rewatch them.
That silence was all I had to say.
I know.
So
hey, movies.
It's hard to get it back into this thing where there's no video, so it's just like no one can see me shaking my head.
Yeah, but I could feel it. So
yeah.
No, okay. I know. I just did that. I don't know why. I guess I got kind of obsessive about memorizing what happened. And I succeeded. Ben Stiller presented Best Animated Film one year, like Best Short Film. And remember that movie Rejected, like that short film about the little stick?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Oh, actually, yes.
I know. It was nominated for an Oscar. So
yeah,
that's
there was a bunch of them.
I know. Yeah. What's that guy's name?
Spoon is too big.
Hertzfeld. Okay. Brittany says his name is Hertzfeld, and yeah, his spoon was too big.
My spoon is too big.
I am a banana. It was great.
My asshole is bleeding.
That was my least favorite part in that one. It just like makes me cringe to this day. It's just like, oh no,
I love it.
There's so much blood.
There's so much blood, and then he's just like, oh, blood. For the love of God! Like he's freaking.
And they're just like, I love it. Yay! It's terrifying.
So it is so.
It is really good, Oscar worthy, but it did not win. So screw you guys. That's it for movies I saw this week. But I don't know. I guess if I'm gonna rank them, Brazil, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and then Rushmore. Sick burn.
Fucking racist.
Yeah, sick burn.
Sick burn.
Although maybe I don't know. Rushmore and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Who knows where these shake out? I just never seen Guess Who's Coming to Dinner before, so it was kind of fun to see.
Okay.
Guess Who though? Is that better? Is that worth seeing? Bernie Mac?
No.
Do you even remember? Okay.
Honestly, not really. I saw it at 6 a.m. on television once on like a movie channel.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
like, yeah, no.
Bernie Mac, pour one out.
He is dead. You're right.
He is. I know, Mr. 3000.
And I'm pretty sure that movie killed him.
Somehow, in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, artistically, definitely.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry. Anyway,
Paul,
so that's it for movies.
Yeah, I have a question for you specifically about video games.
Okay.
Okay, so on the bus home from work one time, we talked about Demon Souls.
We did. You're right.
I decided with the kind of inspiring words you gave me that maybe I should play a different level because it might be easier.
The inspiring words, by the way, for anybody wanting to know, there's an easier level.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, really? Shit. So I booted up again today, and now I just have like kind of some of the finer details in more, like they're more clear in my head, so I can kind of run this past you again. The one I was doing was the Chieftain, Trials of the Chieftain level.
Okay.
And it was like kind of this poisonous swamp. And it was, in fact, the one on the lowest tier in the Nexus right across from the other one I did, which was the Trial of the Small King.
That is the easiest then.
Shit. Because, yeah, I don't...
Like, it starts you off in a weird, like... You're, like, in cliffs or something. You eventually go into a swamp. That's the next part.
Yeah. But
like,
it is kind of
with
very
all these,
vertical.
Like, birdmen things.
It's a very vertically oriented level, yeah.
Yeah, and like what you're doing is when you start up. There's these like shanty little walkways and shit like that, and you're going down. And when you go down, there's the swamp.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the easiest level, I think, in that game.
Okay, well, I tried a different one, and there's like really fast skeleton dudes. They just kind of roll at you a lot, and they're kind of scrambling around in the opening area.
That's the hardest level.
Oh, okay.
Probably. Because by that time you should like have decent armor or whatever, like decent equipment.
Yeah.
And not only that, you should be proficient at dodging and countering and blocking.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I was like kind of slowly progressing and then dying and then trying to do it again. Just like, no, I got it this time, and ended up just kind of eating all of my grass and then kind of just dying a lot.
Yeah, because once you get past those skeletons in that part, there's like a flying bird thing that consistently can attack you and stuff, and like, I don't know. I gotta say, it's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one that, like, after you've been playing for maybe an hour or two and you have, like, the feel of the game again,
yeah,
then you can go to it, sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
going in cold is a bad idea, probably.
Yeah, I ended up wasting a lot of stuff. Like, how much... I guess I'm trying to, like... How do I buy grass? Does that cost souls, or does it...
I
is
think
there another...
it does.
Shit, because I just ate all of it. I have, like,
just
kit.
Just get more, then, from not sucking and finding it.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Just go through areas and not die, and you will collect stuff again.
Or go through easy areas and just farm it, if you need to.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay.
Because then at the same time, you're farming... You go through the Boletarian Palace or whatever, the castle, and like in that first little area, just kill all the little dudes, grab the grass, and then you'll get souls at the same time. Okay.
I guess, yeah, I can go about this properly. And at least I know more about what I'm dealing with, for the most part. And you kind of been more receptive to switching weapons out for different ones.
Yeah, like, having a good crossbow or bow and arrow sort of thing, and a good melee, is extraordinarily important, and switching between holding it with two hands or one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll look into that again at some point. I was kind of just going through some PlayStation Plus titles I had and stuff on my PlayStation. I just been like, oh yeah.
Hey, me too. Kind of. I was playing PlayStation.
All right.
The Final Fantasy X 10.
I was looking at that on the store because you said it was actually a really impressive update.
It is, and it is 22 gigs.
Oh, right. You did say that too.
It's an overnight download.
That's a decent amount of space. It's like bigger than Sony, I think.
It's a decent amount of space for a game that is 13 years old.
But those textures you said are buffed up real nice, so you can see where it went, I guess?
It looks really good. I am extraordinarily surprised that it's not just an upscaled PS2 looking game.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, and that maybe they just put so much behind the PS2 version that the PS2 couldn't realize that it was an easy transition or something, but it looks really fantastic.
I mean, I was messing around with the Kingdom Hearts HD thing a bit, and there's some kind of impressive textures in that too. They're kind of.
You wonder if they put it in after, if it was always there and it was downscaled for PS2, for the old tech, or
right. It's was this asset originally drawn this well? If so,
did it just look that great back then? Did it just look that good on SD? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But and we were talking. I remembered why I hate Titus or however you want to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Because he is a self-absorbed little brat whose problems literally are, when am I going to get to my next Blitzball game, and I hate my daddy.
Yeah.
That is his reasoning behind everything. And it's I'm sure his dad was probably a dick to him, and he is in the cutscenes and stuff where he remembers him, and his dad's like, oh, you're going to cry, and he's just being a prick.
Yeah.
Because, Square Enix doesn't know how to develop characters, so that's the way they do it. But
really blunt, broad strokes.
Right, exactly. So, his dad's a dick, but there's no subtle reason or anything as to why this has impacted him so much that he must save the world.
Yeah. Or how is his dad endangering the world?
Okay, I'm just trying to remember how this all worked. I've been trying to remember the story beats as I've been playing it, and I remembered that it's a Final Fantasy game, and the story is the most convoluted thing about those games. Which is kind of amazing when you consider how far they've gone in convoluting their combat and their item management. It's amazing that they've always been able to convolute their storylines a little bit more than everything else as they progress through the years.
Right. But it's so much more linearly delivered this time, right? As opposed to some of the earlier games. Although, actually, wait. Honestly, now playing Chrono Trigger again...
Final Fantasy VII was very linear.
Yeah. They're linear stories. They just kind of have those moments where you can fly around and go to different places.
Yeah, but those don't impact the story, really.
I know, but it made me feel like I was controlling what happened and when. But really, if I wanted to see what happens next, I need to go to exactly the thing they said, and that's where it happens. Mm-hmm. But, I guess just that kind of oh, you can get the ultimate weapon if you go here and fight this guy, or you can unlock some stuff or see some content. Or, I'm going to go back to the church in Final Fantasy VII for no reason other than I just want to, and then, a little thing happens.
If I remember what happened with the story with Final Fantasy X in the most brutally broad sort of this is how I understand it in my mind because I'm a retard.
Yeah.
I'm not Asian. I'm sorry. My brain does not work that of an Asian's, so I don't understand the intricacies of how I should give a shit about any of this. But back in the day, Titus or whatever, his dad is named Jecht. They are both very popular and very skilled blitzball players, right?
Okay.
They come from a place called Xanarkand. Now, Xanarkand is in war with another place that I can't remember the name of, just any random Final Fantasy sounding name, that's it. Whatever. Back then, Yevon does a summon to try to end the war or to try to make Xanarkand win against the other people, and he summons Sin, which he could not control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the thing that shows up when they're at the stadium and it's like, oh god?
That is the giant turtle monster in a big ball of water.
Okay.
Yep.
Dope. I remember that being like a big kind of Roland Emmerich style disaster movie craziness at the beginning, and then Titus wakes up on some island or something.
Right.
In like another dimension?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
No. Titus doesn't wake up in another dimension. Spoiler alert for a 13-year-old game. He's been dead the whole time, and the guy you play is a memory of who he was.
Really?
Yes.
I beat that game. I don't remember that.
Don't you remember how he, like, disappears or whatever after she destroys all the Aeons because they're what are powering sin?
I remember Yuna, like, sends souls back to their home or something, right?
Okay, I have to say, like, this is huge Final Fantasy X spoilers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're in this territory. You've
already crossed the line.
If you're in this still, like, you're in with us. Let's sit down and have a ride here. Okay. So, it's something about, like, the Aeons and the summoning stuff have been kind of, like, powering sin sort of thing. So, like, the only way to really kill it off for good is to make this, like, magic no longer a thing that people use.
Okay.
So, the end of the game, Yuna summons and essentially fucking kills all her Aeons. Do you remember that? Where you would summon every single Aeon you've like every summon that you have gotten, like the side ones and the ones from the story or whatever.
To fight the boss?
You would bring them all out and you would kill them. Like, you would free them. You would let them go for good.
Oh, weird. Okay.
That is really fucking cool. But being a part of that, because Tidus is a memory of Xanarkand and, like, this whole bullshit, blah, 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 he has to leave too, so he disappears into the ether, and you're left with Yuna just being alone.
Okay.
Basically.
I remember there's kind of, like, a bad romantic relationship between them, and I guess that would make it super tragic if it's like, he's not even real, he's gone.
To this day, it still gets me. It still does.
It's actually... that part of the story actually kind of clicks.
I hate him. With all of my being, but there's something about, like, spending 60 to 80 hours with a character that when they are not real, you feel like you've been maybe cheated and a little depressed.
Okay.
So there is that.
Is Orin alive?
Huh?
Is Orin real?
If I remember, Orin, neither of them were or are
still in modern times, which the game takes place in. Okay.
I might be getting this completely wrong too. It has been like 12 years since I've played this game.
Where are you in your replay of it right now?
I have my whole party now, and and Sin just attacked what the hell is that place called? I think it starts with a K. As I'm kind of filling for time here, I am actually trying to look it up, and there's a giant thing I looked up about Final Fantasy that I cannot read from because there's way too much shit here. Mm-hmm. But Kilika.
Okay.
So Sin just killed a bunch of people in Kilika, and Yuna does her little dance and sends the souls of those killed there to, like, peace or whatever, because if she doesn't, they turn into baddies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
the point I'm in.
I guess it's like, this was a game I kind of just played, like, stumbled headfirst forward through it until the end, and didn't go back to do any of the secret stuff that's apparently in the game.
I did 100% of all of it.
Okay, so there is
the monster arena.
Like, there's special monsters to fight that get you special weapons and stuff?
No. Your special weapons were determined by what character you were trying to get.
Wait, is it like better summons then, or what is the stuff you?
There was they were called celestial weapons.
Okay.
And, depending on which character you were trying to get the weapon for, you would have to do a different sort of thing. So, for instance, Tidus's one was there's a chocobo racing part.
Yeah.
You had to collect balloons, and the balloons would, like, minus your time by, I don't know, I think it's 10 seconds or something like that. And when you're playing the game for that part, The only thing you need to do to pass that part is you have to get under 30 seconds or something like that. So you just have to get like the minimum of balloons and just do the race sort of thing. To get the weapon, you have to have a time of 0. So you have to collect all of the balloons and still be really fast at it, so that when it gets rid of, like...
When the balloon bonus is subtracted, you're at 0.
You're at 0, that's right. So that's how you got his. I'm just remembering the ones that were a pain in the ass. Lulu's was a pain in the ass because there's a place called the Thunder Plains.
Okay.
Where, like, randomly, as you're walking through it, there would be a flash of light and then lightning would sound and, like, hit you. Sort of thing. Well, not hit you, but, like, it would strike the ground.
Yeah.
Well, it would try to hit you, but you would dodge. And what you had to do is you had to dodge it 200 times in a row.
Jesus, that sounds like a terrible achievement in modern times.
It was. But the thing is, it gave you her celestial weapon. And that, I'm just trying to remember some other ones. I think one of them was really easy. It was just like, no, you just, like, go here and pick it up.
Man.
Which is kind of amazing. But, so yeah, it was possible to get the celestial weapons for all 8, or was it 7? I guess it was 7 of the characters, and it took time. And then after that, there's, like, a monster arena in that game, and as you progress in that and get better, you can unlock, like, harder monsters to fight and stuff. So there was a point where I had all the celestial weapons, I did all the dumb bullshit, I was doing the, like, stupid 900 million fucking damage per hit sort of thing, and doing, like, the hardest monsters. So yeah, that game had been completed at some point.
Did you acclimate to the sphere grid pretty easily, or...
Extraordinarily easily, yep.
Okay, I fucked up at that thing, like, real bad the first time I played it. Like, I was just, like, wasting spheres and not committing to anything. It was just like, I'm gonna wander over here with my spheres and not actually, like, get better abilities. Sometimes,
well,
like, I was...
The weird thing about that sphere grid is that every character was on it, and you could, like, break... Like, when you got to a certain point in, like, the end game sort of thing, and you had more spheres and experience or whatever, like, you had already filled out your whole thing, say, as Yuna, and then you could start learning black magic because you could go into Lulu's sort of thing with her. It was weird, but, like, yeah, I guess I could see how you could fuck that up. It just in retrospect, it doesn't seem that big, because after playing Path of Exile, it's like, oh, this isn't a sphere grid. Like, this is just a little baby thing. This is fine.
Okay.
Because the sphere grid in Path of Exile is so daunting, I don't like looking at it when I level up.
Okay. I mean, I'd gotten so used to just, oh, I leveled up. I got some dope stuff. My numbers went up, and I unlocked a new spell or something. Like, it's just
you
like... You
can use that Lancet.
Yeah, like, it's just, like, really simple, just, cool, I did it. But now it's like, cool, I did it. Wait, what? And it's like, you need to decide, what do you want to do? What do you want to do here? It's like, I don't even know. I just want to start playing some more. Click, 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 continue. And just...
That reminds me, I had the best team in Blitzball, too, back then.
Really?
You know what the trick was?
What?
You know those L-Bed that Riku hung out with on the ship and stuff, and then they become like your pilot and stuff like that when you get the airship?
Are they really good Blitzball players?
Yeah, they were like the ones that had like max stats. So like one guy was like meant to be a goalie because he had max like defense or goalie or whatever, so he would never get scored on. Another one had like a move that he could just like score from anywhere sort of thing. It was so
weird.
Dumb. It was so dumb.
Huh. I mean, yeah, the main memory I have of that game's like final bit is getting stuck at the end boss and basically just having to grind for hours to even beat him.
Oh, you mean a Final Fantasy game? Yeah, you were playing one of those. You're right.
Yeah, I was, yeah. But that one specifically, I remember, like, it was the only one I, like, put on the shelf for, like, a year and change and, like, eventually beat it, like, way later. Because I was just like, no, come on, I gotta finish this. And then just, like...
When I got it, I didn't put it down for a week. I kept playing it day in and day out. I was jobless. That was right after high school for me. And I just played through the whole thing in, like, a week.
I guess... Now that I think about it, this was the game, like, I bought my PS2 for. Like, I bought it with it. I was just like,
See, the weird thing is, I
this
never
is the
bought a
thing.
PS2.
Oh, okay.
I was given one by my dad's friend. His son like had another one or something.
Oh, okay.
So they just gave me a PS2 and with this game.
Cool.
So like that's what I did because I didn't have a job, I didn't have money, I was out of school, and like in between, I'm gonna throw a resume here and there. I would just spend like 10 hours a day playing Final Fantasy.
Awesome.
That's all I did for that year. So yeah. Anyway,
The simpler times, man. I
the
totally
simpler times.
miss those. Yeah, tons of JRPGs happened around these parts when I didn't have larger things to care about.
Like your new job.
Like my new job.
Which, by the way, if you don't care
Full-time.
about, you're fucking me over.
No, I'm not
Don't.
flaking on you.
Don't bust my balls.
Okay. I can play Chrono Trigger there, though, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay. Sweet.
We should find a game we could play together on Wednesdays.
Yeah, okay. Kane and Lynch, too. Done. I'm just joking.
Oh.
That won't last us very long. If we can beat that warehouse.
Yeah, we have to go back to it.
I mean, the reason, like, we were going to just go through to the end, and then it's just like, this warehouse sucks. And it's like, all right, let's stop. And,
I do remember that being the worst part of that game, though.
Okay.
Like the most tenuous sort of thing.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. But yeah, Final Fantasy Final Fantasy X and X-2, the HD versions are fantastic.
Okay.
And definitely worth getting.
And it's like, I never ended up playing 10-2, and I've heard it's fun,
yeah.
so...
See,
maybe
I've
that's
heard
what
it's absolutely fucking god-awful and to stay away from it at all costs, which makes me want it more.
Well, I've heard it's, like, really stupid, but that might be totally what I'm into now with that. Like, Final Fantasy not taking itself seriously could be funny. Maybe.
Sure.
Sexy outfits.
Yes.
That's really... Like, there's
See,
just a button.
that's what I'm in for.
Yeah, there's just a button for changing montage. And it's like, all right, awesome. It's like that bit in Panty and Stocking. But I can trigger it whenever I want.
That's right. Oh, also I played Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirrors of Fate, or whatever.
Oh, the like side-scrolling HD DS
I
game?
played a bit of that. It's not good.
What's not good about it, though? Because Garrett Hunter of Mega 64 fame says it's great. What's wrong with that opinion?
Okay. I guess maybe I was hoping it would be like an older Castlevania because it's 2D. Well, not 2D, but it's 2.5D or whatever they call it, right?
Generally side-scrolling.
So you're side-scrolling, you like use your whip to hit stuff. The only problem is you still have combos and shit like that, and I think that ruins Castlevania in that style.
Okay.
So
I guess I did hear...
You're still mashing the button and then putting the heavy attack and like doing the grapple and bringing them in and then using like one of the like triggers or the like shoulder buttons to like execute. Like it's still Lords of Shadow in a less interesting dimension.
So you kind of just want, like, I throw an axe, like you have sub-weapon, main weapon, and you determine what those are, and it's kind of...
Dawn of Sorrow, Aria of Sorrow, fucking Simon's Quest, like, I just want that old style again. Like, if they're gonna do that type, I don't want Lords of Shadow side-scroller. I just want, like, Castlevania side-scroller, okay, I know what I'm gonna expect, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. So that's just me, I guess, but... Game's not that
Igarashi's gone now, too, so it's probably not going to happen.
Right, exactly. So, fuck that. But yeah, I mean, that's...
But hey, if you want to read about some good old Castlevania games, check out Pixel Response for my review of the Game Boy Advance cart.
The double pack.
Harmony of Dissonance and Area of Sorrow together on one cart, finally. 9.1 out of 10.
I think I tweeted something like, remember Castlevania? No? Here you go. Or something.
Yep. Here's a reminder. Like a decade ago, there were really cool Castlevania games. I should play Harmony of Dissonance again. I never finished it. And, apparently I'm not going to get good side-scrolling Castlevania nowadays, so I might as well go back in time and check out some old stuff.
I agree with you 100%. I still play those every now and then, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I love Simon's Quest. It's a great game.
That's the second one? The one everyone gets kind of frustrated with because you have to crouch near that wall?
There's that for sure. I think they get frustrated with it because it's an RPG.
I like those. We were just talking
Yeah.
about some.
No, but like what I mean is that when, like I was saying how, oh, I want Castlevania to be like this blah 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 hatred, and then it's like when people are talking about Metroidvania games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is just like a side-scrolling RPG with that as the combat mechanic, is that you still whip stuff and it dies or like takes 2 hits sort of thing.
Well, that's kind of the stuff I liked about the Sorrow games, because you're also leveling up as part of it.
Yeah, but you didn't level up in that one because it was still old.
In Simon's Quest.
Yeah, like it was an RPG in the fact that you had to go to towns, talk to people, get certain stuff, get hints about what you were supposed to do, even though they were cryptic as shit and nobody understood what they meant until you got the Nintendo power.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing people talk about. Is like games kind of were... You needed to subscribe to Nintendo Power in order to play video games.
That's why when people say, like, oh, things are just corridor shooters now, corridor shooters, or just corridor shooters, and they hold your hand in tutorials, it's like, bitch, you don't remember being 5 years old and getting this only game you're going to play for the weekend and being frustrated and throwing it away.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why corridor shooters and tutorials and stuff are very important these days, is because I don't have time for one thing, and kids are getting stupider as we get older. So... Anyways,
I guess I'm just kind of thinking through games, like specifically Metroid, like the first one, like that game's impossible without a map. No, dude, like later games at least put a map in the game.
No,
you know?
Yeah, that's
like they at least give you, they throw you a bone, whereas the original Metroid is just like, no, fuck you, figure it out, and you're just like, I can't. I tried so many times, like I would just go back and be like, I want to kill Mother Brain. Because that is one of those like early gaming milestones, and I haven't done it. Like I've beat the original Super Mario Bros. Finally, I did that. I beat Zelda and Zelda 2. Metroid can't do it. It's not.
I was
Zero
actually
mission.
going to bring up Zelda as well. Is that like everybody always heralds the first one as being the next great thing and so innovative for the time and stuff? Bitch. When you were playing that game, you didn't know what the fuck you were doing until you talked to friends at school that their older brother stumbled upon it, or you found, like...
You gotta burn this bush. And it's just like, what?
You found that issue of Nintendo Power or something, and like, oh, now that you have the internet, now it's the fucking golden age of gaming. It was fucking bullshit back then, and you know it.
Yeah. Rose-colored glasses, man.
Rose-colored glasses, because people can look shit up now. Go back to playing a game where you don't know what the fuck you're doing and say, this is good game design. You won't, because you're not a fucking retard.
So, I guess, to bring it back to Demon's Souls, like, a thing people really love about those games is they don't hold your hand and all that stuff. Do you look up stuff on the internet? Because I haven't been so far with Demon's Souls, and I don't know if I'm kind of ruining this experience for myself, or if that's actually pure and that's the way to do it.
No, I haven't looked up anything on the internet, and that makes it funner for me. Because the difference between back then and right now is that the game doesn't hold your hand, but at the same time, it's still linear enough in how open it feels that there's still an end point, there's still the bosses, and you feel like you're making the progression. It's not that you're just running around in circles in the main castle courtyard. And the main focus with them not holding your hand is that they're not making the combat easy. You have to get used to the mechanics sort of thing. That's what the whole thing's based around. So it's like, it's not holding your hand, but not in the same way that Legend of Zelda wasn't holding your hand, where they weren't holding your hand and then you wouldn't be able to play the game because you didn't know where you were going. You were wandering. And like a game like Demons or Dark Souls, they're not holding your hand and they make you learn how to use the mechanics. But once you do, then it's just a matter of you progressing yourself through and exploring. That's the difference, is that they give you an incentive to explore, and it doesn't kind of repeat the same fucking screen over and over again until you burn the magical bush.
You know yeah. Was that one of those kind of infinite mazes unless you do the right thing sequences?
In Zelda, I don't think it was infinite, but it was disheartening still to see the same looking screen over and over.
Yeah. I guess I want to run this by you. You've been recording via some means other than Audacity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I forgot about that.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. I was scared that it was just like, oh man, nothing happened. But okay. Hey, editing.
Mhm.
Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2 is finally coming out. Are you excited?
It's finally coming out pretty soon here.
Pretty soon it's
Another
going to come out.
2 weeks and a half, roughly.
And it's going to be available for people to play. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. So all these people that have been getting them on their Xbox and stuff, I'm sorry you were tricked and you got the beta unreleased alpha build.
Mm-hmm.
But the PC build's coming out finally, so that game is finally being released, and I can have fun with it finally. So I don't know what Giant Bomb's talking about when they're saying they're playing it, because they're not. They're just playing it.
It's kind of weird that they would jump in on this weird
you know what? Game. They probably got the finished game for review that they have to write in a couple weeks. It makes sense because that game is pretty long, I'm sure, and like kind of arduous to get through. So now it's like, yeah, no, we gave them the build, so after a month of playing it, then they can write the review, because they'll know. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy,
okay, actually,
the perks.
Now that you're kind of reminding me of this, well, just whatever, gaming websites, they don't post a lot of reviews over there.
Not anymore, no.
Okay, but publishers send them games.
That's correct.
What do they expect to get out of... Do they not want a review necessarily? They just want coverage?
Sales. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So just people playing it is the new reviews?
See, this is the thing, is that I don't think gaming companies or indie developers or anything ever wanted reviews. The reason why
you're judging my thing. You put a number on it that is lower than the number I wanted. Oh, shit.
Yeah, they didn't remove that from the equation. They wanted the name to be said on a site that people visit. So whether or not that's like, yeah, I guess you could put a number to this and equate it to something else that might be favorable or not, that's fine because the name is on your website on the front page.
I guess, but it just seems like there's no guarantee that there will be something that summarizes your thoughts on a thing for the larger masses. Like, I have no interest in watching people play dozens of hours of Dark Souls 2 in order to understand whether or not I should play Dark Souls 2.
See, that is the thing, I think, for something like the Giant Bomb. I think it's the Bombcast where they say the name, and they say, I've been having fun with it, and the, like, couple thousand people listening to it that day go out and buy it.
So that's the few minutes of kind of summary I get to know?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they really... Just like they don't want a number on, like, how important their thing is, I don't think they want people to show the whole game as well. I think they want that 10-minute clip of, like, Jeff Gerstmann, who's been around forever in the industry and is very well liked and stuff, to say, no, I think it's pretty good, you should probably check it out if you like this. I don't exactly think what they're looking for.
Say that about Dark Souls 2.
Not about Dark Souls, but about anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like RBI Baseball, for example, the new one coming out. Maybe that.
So, do you think... I mean, they've said this before on the Bombcast, whereas, like, when they're doing the game coverage and stuff, it doesn't make sense to have the guy that hates Dark Souls to cover Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Is that disingenuous?
Probably, I mean...
Right?
They've kind of...
It's like me covering, like, Resident Evil, right? Like, say we are writing for something, and people are just like, oh, give this to this guy, because they know I'm going to say, yeah, this game's fucking amazing, it's Resident Evil, 10 out of 10.
Right.
That's completely disingenuous to, like, where you're just like, no, it's kind of wonky here, it does this okay, but it's still not, like, a great experience sort of thing. That is a more honest review, I think.
Well, it's like, ideally, everyone would play everything, right? Because then
there is no fucking way.
I know.
With us, there's no way we do that.
I know, but I'm saying, like, for movie reviews and stuff, it's like, well, Roger Ebert sees 5 movies that week and can give you opinions on all of them because it takes, like, 10 hours to do that. Whereas 10 hours, that's, like, 1 video game, and 3 came out.
That's 1 short video game.
Yeah, so it's kind of a different thing where it's just like, ideally, I want a fully fleshed out, thorough opinion by this guy, but he has no interest in playing this, so I don't know what to think. So I guess I'll just kind of be high and dry on that front. Like, I mean, they did kind of recently talk about this in relation to Infamous, whereas, like, Jeff Gerstmann reviewed Infamous, the new one, and he is not the resident Infamous fan, so his opinion is a little more, like, oh, that's unexpected, than Brad Shoemaker thinking that game's pretty good because he liked the last two, you know?
Brad Shoemaker likes a lot of bad games, though, so whatever.
Yeah, but...
He likes a lot of good ones, too, before
true.
people start commenting.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it's a thing they're aware of at the very least. Like, Patrick Klepek talked about how he reviewed Gone Home, and of course he liked Gone Home because he was interested in it, so that review might not be...
Because he's friends with the fucking creators.
That, I guess so, yeah. That is kind
of... I'm sorry, but come on. Really? At this point, it's like, okay, Crunch came out on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
When I said my piece on what I thought about it, I had no idea who those guys are. There's no way in hell I will ever give an opinion about stuff they do from this point on.
Really?
Like,
not even in just kind of a... Like, I mean,
like
Roger
maybe
Ebert
well, the thing is, I could talk to
Scorsese.
them. Like, if I'm going to give an opinion about what I like or don't like about something, I'll talk to the people who made it. I won't just bash it on the internet.
I guess so.
So, I don't know. That's why I don't really...
it is a thing where video game people who cover video games get to know people who make video games.
Games or whatever, not people they're friends with.
That happens all the time, though. I don't know whether that like invalidates the entire thing. It does. Maybe.
And I don't listen. The reason I listen to the Bombcast is because I like how those guys have chemistry with each other, and I like the jokes they make, and when they talk about anything other than video games. When they talk about video games, I turn it. I don't care what their opinion is.
You kind of zone out, or you just skip it?
I just skip it, usually. Because like once the intro funny part's over, I'm done. Like, I'll go to the comedy show now. This comedy podcast.
Oh, okay.
And actually, it's weird, because inversely... when I'm listening to a comedy podcast or something like, oh no, these are just a group of guys that have like good rapport with each other and stuff, and then they start talking about video games, I want to turn them off too, because it's like they don't know what they're talking about. So, like...
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like Mega 64's balance, because they're kind of just talking about...
Mega 64 is like what we're doing. They're friends, and they're just talking about like what they had fun with. They're not saying like, oh, you should probably buy this.
I guess, yeah. Like Rocco will kind of share thoughts on games and stuff specifically. Like, he made me kind of revisit Other M a while ago, because I was just kind of like, oh, he actually ended up really liking it. I have not heard anyone talk about this game in like a favorable light, so I will give it another look. And I didn't play through it, but I don't know. I guess I didn't feel like that opinion was super adamant or like demanding or self-serious about itself or anything. It was just kind of like, yeah, I played a video game this weekend and it was this one and I finished it. It's like, oh, okay.
The way Rocco talked about Stick of Truth is the reason why I can listen to those guys talk about video games. Is because when I hear other people from like sites or whatever talk about that game, they talk about how it plays like this, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Rocco's just like, no, it has all this dumb shit, man. Like, there's this one part and stuff, and he's just making you feel like...
Like, the Osimo costume is in Cartman's closet. Like, that's what I want to know.
You'll go into Jimbo's shop, and there's this, like, I'm a little bit country bullshit, and it's just awesome. Like, that's how he talks about it. Yeah. Where it's like, he's just a fan of this. Where other people will say stuff that makes it seem like they're almost trying to sell either the other people they're talking to at the time about it, or, like, keep them away from it. And that isn't the way I care about people's opinion, because then it becomes like a weird pitch or something.
Sure.
It's like, I played this.
You like South Park.
And it controls like this. It's like it's like Paper Mario and stuff like that, but for South Park fans, it's like, this is all stuff that seems like keywords that somebody behind the scenes made them say, almost.
Well, those are kind of games that remind me of the mechanics of it, but...
No, sure, but the reason why they say these words, and I understand this, is because they're in the industry, and this is how they talk. This is their job, they do it every day.
Right.
So this is just how they say stuff. Where it's kind of refreshing to listen to a bunch of dumbasses talk about the game that they thought was cool because of fart jokes. Like,
I guess,
I don't know.
Now that you're saying it, like, kind of throwing it back to me, it is a really weirdly useless comparison to compare that game to Paper Mario, Because
Well, it is for me because I've never played any of them.
well, that's what I mean. It's like outside of like a really small subset of people who the thing they are interested in this game isn't the South Parkness. It is that it's like Paper Mario. Like that is such a small segment. Like I have played all the Paper Marios and I like those a lot. So that is meaningful to me because I'm a crazy video game person. But if I'm like a South Park fan, I probably like that is my point of interest in this. I probably haven't played Paper Mario. Like that is nothing like South Park at all. Like that is not on the
and
same
this is
Venn
my
diagram.
thing, is that I've publicly, like, I've gone on about how I don't give a shit about Mario. Like, I find a lot of the games fun, or like I can revisit some of the nostalgic ones, but like Mario as a character or that world, I don't give a fuck. So it's like, why would I ever play a Paper Mario game? Because to me, what it sounded like before was an RPG where you get to play as Mario and like fucking toadstools and dumb shit like that. And like in this world that I don't give a shit about. Now if people said it plays like Stick of Truth, I at least know that mechanically it's not going to suck ass, even though I don't give a shit about the world.
So
I guess
I really came at Mario from a really uniquely thing like that attuned me to being excited about Paper Mario. Like I read Mario books.
I did too, and the comic.
Yeah, well, okay, it's like that kind of, you know, like did that not endear the world to you in any way? Of
I
just,
mean,
like,
maybe
Koopa
until I saw how Paper Mario looks, and it looks like terrible anime.
Well, it's like a comic book.
No, it doesn't look like a comic book at all.
Well, it's like a pop-up book kind of thing.
Okay, that's probably more accurate.
Yeah,
Pop-up book. Sure.
It's kind of like that. I don't know. I guess I was also introduced to it when I was an N64 backer. Like that was the console I had during that generation. I didn't have
You make it
PlayStation.
sound like a Kickstarter thing when I was
Well, yeah.
a backer of the
Like
N64.
it's just like I backed the wrong horse in that race because I did not have very many games to play. So it's like, hey, Paper Mario is actually good. Oh, sweet. Loved that game. And then I was on board for like the sequels and stuff.
That might be my problem, because the N64 era is when I fell out of love with this idea of Mario and just found it kind of, in a way, annoying.
Yeah.
Just absolutely pissed off with it.
Okay.
So, I don't know. There's still games I enjoy. I enjoy some things that Galaxy tried to do that I didn't get into. I kind of enjoyed some of the different aspects of, what the hell was that 3DS one?
3D Land?
Yeah, 3D Land I thought did some neat stuff, and even Mario 64 at the time I thought was like groundbreaking in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I've never loved or even necessarily liked those games. I just didn't think they were bad.
Okay.
But maybe it's just the fact that everybody in the world seems to absolutely love Mario just sours me even more every time people talk about it. So it's like, no, I mean, you know how that is. Where it's just like, you don't particularly see why... You see why something could be okay, but you don't see why everybody's loving it so much.
Oh, Marvel superhero films. Oh, okay.
I mean, sure. It doesn't matter what. Everybody has that thing that's like, you can see why it's okay. But you don't like it personally, that's fine. But when people won't shut up about it, you start to hate it.
Yeah.
You
like
resent
Marvel.
it.
Or Lego. Or Drive.
See, okay, the Lego thing, first of all, is a weird anomaly in the fact that Lego isn't actually Lego. It's whatever. Lego's like, weirdly enough, another child's toy, the Play-Doh, where it's just forming around the stuff that people love. So it's like Marvel Lego, right? People love Marvel, but like Lego just became that. They're like a chameleon that takes on all the popular stuff. So to say that you hate Lego is to say that you just hate blocks, which is fine, but that's not what people love.
Well, actually, like I was kind of venting about this a little bit more this week, and I guess I kind of don't like Lego for like the figures and stuff. Like they're kind of not the most articulate toys.
They were never meant to be. They were meant to be a placeholder in the little house you built.
Yeah, like the thing I really liked when I was way into Lego was making pistols out of Lego.
Yeah.
And then I had
I like
pistols.
to make the castles, actually, myself.
Okay.
Architecture.
But I guess, yeah, it's like, you know, I'm trying to think of it as like someone getting really excited about paper as opposed to books or something, right? Like it's like, well, this is built out of this is made out of paper, but that's not the thing you're supposed to be excited about.
Paper the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I get that they're like licensing everything everyone likes to try to get you in there, but that kind of grosses me out even more. Like, I just found out Lonely Island is in it. I don't like
In
that.
Lego?
They made the song, like, Everything is Awesome. That's them.
Oh, Lego movie?
Yeah.
Did they make it for that movie, or did they buy it from them?
Well, I guess Tegan and Sarah are involved somehow in that song, too? Like...
This is so weird.
I know!
You're naming off two groups or
Totally
artists that
different...
I like a lot.
Exactly! So it's just like, they can buy whoever they want. Like, you know, Lego Movie 2, Daft Punk's in it. And it's just like, God fucking damn it, I hate you so much, Lego.
Oh, man.
Like, that's what that does to me.
Okay, I'm putting a call out right now. If anybody has any connections to Lego, I don't even want free shit. What you have to do is tell them that for the next Lego movie, Daft Punk has to be the scoring theme.
And then Nathan will go insane. Like, it's just like, yeah, he's in a padded room now. He lives there. Like, he just keeps screaming over and over about how Daft Punk used to be cool. And
if that happens, I will find a replacement for you, because I'm pretty sure a bullet will be going in between your fucking brain and spinal column that night.
From, like, someone assassinating me? I'm not gonna...
From you.
I'm not gonna
like,
end myself
yourself.
over this. I will instead become a
End
psychopath.
them.
Yeah. That is actually my... Yeah.
That's my...
I've decided I would never go out, like, personally just ending it. I would try to take people down.
Actually, I've decided that too, because there's a lot of people in this world I hate, and if I'm going to go anyway, guess what?
Taking some of you guys.
Yep.
Maybe you've heard of some. I don't know.
And see, the reason why it's
That's
easy
for
to
me in my journal.
The reason why it's easy to say that is because when you don't believe in a heaven or a hell, you're not afraid of the
Of that
consequences.
aspect, you just know you're going to end, potentially. Although I'd probably wear Kevlar and a helmet. Anyway.
Okay, now we're getting way too specific.
What? I'm just saying, if, you know, they have bodyguards or something, I want to not die instantly.
Oh, well, in that case, you better make sure you have, like, a knife in a holster, just in case you get up close to somebody and you can stab them.
Yeah, it's kind of dark, a little dark. That's what we do when no one's watching. Talk about our
Murphy hype.
Murder lists. What?
Murphy hype.
I haven't actually made one, but that's why I can't write down about, like, stuff I'm angry at, because it comes across like, well, this is just a murder list, isn't it? This is like Christopher Dorner type shit. You can't write that, Nathan.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you were going to make a murder list.
Oh no.
What? We're not going to say that you're going to murder these people or things.
Okay.
Let's name 3 people or things you would take out.
Oh no.
Not how you would do it or anything. Just off the top of your head.
Oh man. Okay. Really? You want me to admit this on digital audio, and then that is, like, in my record now? That's NSA?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just try not to be... Okay.
I hate that, and I don't have good reasons. I was
going to ask you, is there a reason why you hate him that much?
I think it's just kind of this, like, I got so into KanYe the same way I did.
You got so into Taylor Swift that when he ruined her acceptance speech, you lost it.
No, it's really, it's kind of just this weird thing where I felt like I was, like, tricked or something, where I was like, I was willing to go to bat for KanYe and say, like, he's, like, totally a really interesting artist who has an interesting perspective. And then he started dating Kim Kardashian.
Right, who is the antithesis of everything.
Like, any kind of high culture. And I was just like...
No, anything. Just period.
This is such a, like, just rug pull for me. I am just so bummed out by this fact. So then I started just kind of observing him from a different light of being just the most egotistical person who can't realize that he had, like, really good opportunities presented to him. Like, it's like, man, I'm self-made man. I'm blowing up. It's like, you knew Jay-Z. Like, that's your big talent, is you knew a successful person. So, you know, maybe simmer down a little bit. Like, I don't know. Something about the KanYe narrative just really bothers me now. And, yeah. So, and also, I guess it's just also that thing of just the kind of celebrity thing I talked about, of just the cult of celebrity, like that kind of stuff, where it's just like, why do the, like, kind of just richest, most arrogant people get to just be celebrated for being that at a certain point? why doesn't someone stop that from continuing? So that would be one of the people on this horrible list that you are presenting to me.
2 more people.
2 more people. Well, I mean, Kim Kardashian will probably be there. So that's horrible.
Okay. No.
Okay.
If anything, that makes the most sense.
A little bit.
For, like, number 2.
Yeah.
So, do you hate her more or less than him?
I don't know much about, like, really, like, I guess the fact that she is the daughter of the lawyer that got OJ off the hook is kind of just a weird origin point for a successful person. Like, I don't like that has happened.
And sex tapes. That's a shitty way for someone to get famous.
Yeah, I guess. Like, it's just kind of, like, honestly, it's this thing where it's like, in one of KanYe's songs, he talks about her being a porn star, and it's just like, well, she's like the laziest porn star ever. Because if you look at her resume, hundreds of credits. 1 credit. She's a terrible porn star. You know?
Yeah.
Saying. Like, numbers.
Well, I saw it.
Okay. Was it amazing?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just that kind of successful for being successful kind of thing that has happened. Like, just Paris Hilton kind of style, but more egregious somehow. I don't know.
Because at least she knew she was just a rich, spoiled cunt.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's just like, you're like some lawyer's kid. Why does anyone care? I guess it's kind of like, maybe really the people I should be going after is like whoever the main editor at TMZ is. I should kill that person.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people would thank you.
Like, maybe I should swap out my contempt for celebrities to contempt for people who harvest celebrities for, like, attention. So, sure. I don't know. Like, maybe there's an alternate lineup. But, I guess I'm trying to think even if there's another really... Like, honestly, that was the one that was, like, standing out in my mind the whole time we were talking.
Okay, like, so that's it.
If they didn't exist, what would culture look like after that point? What would happen?
So there is no third then.
There's not really a third that has bothered me as much as what's going on there. So do you have anybody, or am I the one in the sinking ship and you're just kind of waving?
I don't know. I might have people.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so
no, what? Well, there might be, but I don't know. You're on your own, crazy man. Hashtag, post as a tag, like Psycho Nathan or something. Get me in trouble.
Crasshole. KanYe is definitely not on that list.
Okay.
For me. Mainly because I don't fault him, really. I guess my thing is, I never thought he was great to begin with. Like, I've liked a few of his tracks and the stuff he's produced and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I never thought that he was above being a piece of shit. So when he turned out to just be a piece of shit, I was okay. I was like, yeah.
I bought into the lie for a good while. And was kind of just like, yeah, oh man, dude, he just like so knows who he is and what he's doing and where he's going. Like, he's so inspirational. Oh no, he's just, oh god damn it, I fucked up. I feel maybe a little ashamed for having expressed that opinion ever anywhere. I can't believe I was so wrong. Hand me that pipe, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Sorry, specific. Another one came to mind, but it's honestly tempered a little bit, and it's only. Like, it's really weirdly specific one, because it's really, I hate a depiction of this person, and I have no actual knowledge of the actual person. A dramatic interpretation of it. Jordan Belfort, the inspiration behind Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, that, like, unchecked arrogance and, like, greed that just kind of went unpunished just stands to me as, like, that is just kind of an injustice. Like, if that guy got hit by a bus tomorrow, and that was a headline, I'd be like, yeah, okay, karma might be real. Like, that should have happened,
Mm-hmm.
Based on my very narrow information. I do not have a thorough understanding of the man. He might be a very, like, nice person now, and he's changed his ways or something. I have no idea. All I know is I saw, like, a 3-hour kind of assault on the senses about his most kind of lascivious stuff that he ever did. So that kind of definitely is a weird first impression to get. So yeah, that dude pissed me off in a way that was akin to just blind rage in the way we're talking about. So number 3, Jordan Belfort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sure. Okay, so should we go on to voicemails now?
Wait, do you have anybody that you're gonna like share the wealth, or I don't know? Or is that just never happened? I'm just like super angry.
It's happened in the heat of the moment.
Okay.
But like thinking right now, there's nobody that really pops out as like, I would end this person.
Okay.
Maybe Kardashian.
That's
maybe.
Probably healthy mindset. I don't. Maybe just like venting it finally somewhere other than just like privately.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll like, mend that wound.
Well,
me and Con patch up our beef and it'll be over.
I don't necessarily think I wish death upon him because I think it might be too swift and easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really, really hope Justin Bieber like just burns out and dies career-wise to the point where he is nothing. Like people don't even recognize him, and he is in the streets trying to sing "Baby, Baby, Baby" for money, and people are pissing on his face instead of giving them his change.
Like honestly, that might be the better thing to wish for in this is not death, because that's kind of mean and illegal. But I just hope they fail. Like I hope an album comes out at some point and it just doesn't even chart and no one cares, and it's just like. Yeah, remember KanYe? Who? Oh, yeah. He was like Drake, but less Canadian. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it would make you feel better, too.
Sure, because like some sort of validation. Like if I'm like 78 in like a retirement home and I read a newspaper that says that. In fact, whatever, reading a newspaper, what am I talking about? I am checking my Twitter feed and I look at KanYe and it's like, wow, he has less followers than me. Validation.
Or, like, what I was thinking is, in your case, KanYe, right?
Yeah.
Say he dies tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
How are you going to get any validation or feel better? If anything, he died before he could fail.
Right, and he'd kind of live on as a legend because he's still reasonably well regarded right now.
That's right.
His reputation might only grow. Whereas if you get him, like, yeah, he kind of only had like 10 albums in him, and now it's kind of wavering and falling apart. It's like, oh, good, thank you. I knew he didn't actually.
I guess I like the idea more that instead of people dying and they're no longer part of this world, I like the idea that they go home and just weep themselves into a fucking mess before they try to sleep at night. Like they're just so broken as a human being.
That seems so much worse, kind of. Oh man. Just like I hope they go home every night and like cry themselves to sleep. That's what I want. Not death. That's horrible.
I'm sure everybody's been to that point in their life. And it makes me feel better knowing that, like, famous people are just people.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me feel good to know that if there has been a point in my life where I went home and just, like, cried until I fell asleep because I can no longer produce tears and, like, just passed out from, like, self-righteous pain.
Yeah.
That, like, the same thing probably happened to Tom Cruise more than a few times.
Okay.
So that makes me feel good inside. Knowing that there are literally that people go home and just like become a mess and just want to kill themselves, and it's like they're just broken. That makes me feel really good.
Right. There's no secret formula or anything. Like they're
right. It's just humanity.
Right.
Yeah. There was
I guess that's cyanide.
A lot. It was just self-deprecation to the point of complete depression. Mm-hmm. I think that is the best revenge.
Okay.
So voicemails.
Well, I had like one or two.
Okay, no, let's do it. Go.
I just speaking of celebrities in their later years, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I've been reading Alec Guinness's last book.
You have at work.
Yes, on occasion, and also here. I haven't finished it yet, but it's. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself of reading like old people I liked memoirs, because that's kind of like this recipe for sadness. Because it's just like, oh man, they're just kind of summarizing like all their last days, like their friends dying and their pets dying and just like weird, sad ruminations on stuff. But there's some like lighter stories in there too of just looking back on plays they were in and movies and stuff. Or in Alec Guinness's case, I guess, dealing with overzealous Star Wars fans, which is something that really bothered him because that was not like his favorite career achievement at all. But that is like the big successful thing that people remember him for. So just having to deal with that like at the hospital and stuff, and just having people be like, "Oh, sign this thing," and you're just like, "Yeah, I just had cataract surgery. It's really fun. All right, may the force be with you." Like just kind of this kind of like, oh man, like I could have been one of those kids. Like I was a 13-year-old kid way into Star Wars when he passed away. Like just kind of, I don't know. That could have been.
It reminds me of Alan Rickman's character in
in Galaxy Quest?
In Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, where he's so resentful about the lines fans throw at him and like the stuff.
Do you remember what the line is?
By Grapthar's hammer.
By Grapthar. Yeah, okay, I couldn't remember the name. By
the storms of Warvan, I will avenge you, or whatever. Yeah. It's or whatever. That's basically the exact quote.
It's the exact quote. Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Just remember that exact
Grapthar
of sci-fi fans kind of being a little much is kind of expressed in here, and also just like very super British, like just talking about beef tea, which I think is beef broth, but he just says, "Oh yeah, I was having beef tea at tea time and sitting on this boat," and it's just like, all right, I don't know, just a slice of life from like a totally different generation. I've kind of been enjoying that, and it's also just been kind of stoking up this kind of like reminding me of how totally different live theater is than like any other medium, because it's like a thing that happens and then it's gone, like you can't ever see it again. Like it's just like, oh, were you there on January 12th when Kevin Spacey was in the show on Broadway? Oh no. Oh well, then fuck you, because you'll never see it. Like it's kind of just this like annoying thing where hearing people talk about great plays they saw, it's like, oh yeah, Olivier, he was so good in that, and you're just like, okay, like this is kind of annoying because I can't ever see it. So it's like, like it's kind of makes me think though, like I should go see more plays because they're happening right now and then disappearing like into the ether.
They're really good too. They're fun.
Yeah, it's kind of it's got its own.
It's unfortunate we live in like the fucking asshole of Canada because there's none of that shit going on.
There is theater, but it's like more broadly, like I mean, like Young Frankenstein is playing right now, and I like that movie, but you know that's not really what I'm jonesing for. I want to see those jokes on a stage.
I went to go see them when they were doing what the hell is that called? Sweeney Todd.
Okay,
that was fantastic. It was really good.
Like a long time ago, like a decade, there was a really good local production of Amadeus. Like that. Okay. Like, you know, it happens. Like, that can come through here. And maybe there's something going on right now. Like,
it's so rare here, though. Like, here, where we live.
I guess so. But, I don't know. It just kind of put that back on my radar as maybe that's a activity I should do at least, like, quarterly or semi-annually or something. So I'm at least seeing what's going on.
Maybe we should write a Broadway play.
Maybe, yeah. There you go. Maybe. Or Broadway, like a local Loose Moose theater, Calgary play.
I used to go to the Loose Moose a lot. My parents would take me.
How was that? Was it good? They have like
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It was a long time ago.
Improv classes there.
Yeah, they're idiots though.
Reading about. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how people that do improv aren't funny?
I kind of that can happen, but honestly, this is like kind of I've been thinking about doing improv classes, so now you're like...
Oh, good, so you're not going to be funny. Good to know. So I will find a new person.
So don't do improv classes, memo from Paul. I got it.
No,
Steve
I don't
Coogan think... is an improv guy, and I find him really funny in a specific way.
That says more about you than I could ever imagine. But
I guess, but he doesn't do it in like that kind of whose line is it anyway. Like, is that what you're talking about? Do you like that show or hate that show?
No. I don't actually have feelings for it either way.
I'm kind of yeah, okay, because like that was a show people like would talk about in this raving manner when I was at school, and I was just like, all right, like I saw the clip. I don't. Yeah, he said he was a pretzel or something. Like,
I think the problem is that when I associate improv with stuff, I don't associate it with like people that talk like people do. I think when I think about improv, It's that the people that have been doing it for so long develop this almost silly slapstick sense of humor in their mind because it's easy.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Like they know what gets the laugh, so they'll just do that.
And that's improv, right? For me,
it's
like
learning what those buttons are.
Improv that is really good and funny are the people that can articulate things and like make the witty retorts or puns or whatever, and they don't have to resort to silliness. I always view improv as silly. Like that is the silly form of comedy that Jim Carrey was very good at, and The Mask was a thing, and kids loved him, but he is terrible as a person.
I guess like the kind of improv games and the kind of improv activities.
That's what they build you to do. They get your mind to go in like, you just do it sort of thing, right? Like you don't think about it, you're just doing stuff, and usually that's slapstick.
Right. No, yeah, it is kind of, I guess you could say, a broad or lower form of comedy in a way. I guess it's not like I'm like inherently looking for improv comedy. It's more just like improv acting of some sort. Of just kind of
okay.
Like, and I do kind of you saying like articulating stuff in just kind of creative ways. Like that is something I enjoy of Mega 64, recurring theme. Like them doing their audio, like their video podcast stuff is just kind of them bullshitting for like an hour. And sometimes there's almost like things that would constitute a bit in like a comedy thing, but it is just them kind of riffing and throwing stuff around. Like when Ben Affleck was announced as Batman, they just went on this kind of tear of just like cursing him out and freaking out in this very like weird way that I think was kind of just supposed to riff on how angry the internet was, because I don't think they really care, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see them?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, like, so I've honestly been kind of enjoying like Royce's Choices, which is the like segments of their podcast and after show that are kind of just catered and curated by the super fan of theirs that kind of just has the video to the goofy audio I'm listening to, and then I can kind of see like them kind of making fun of Ray William Johnson or something, and it kind of is a cohesive little 5-minute segment about a thing.
You know, like Todd and Aaron videos?
Yeah.
Okay, so when say we're talking about improv, right?
Okay.
What makes those funny isn't necessarily the like best game of the year, so Madden or whatever, right?
Yeah,
that's obviously preconceived, like to be a joke.
It's always going to be
blah,
Call
blah,
of Duty or Madden.
But after that, when they say the random shit off the cuff, that's the funniest part, and I'm pretty sure that happens in the heat of the moment while they're
like,
doing
let's think outside the box. Felicia Day or whatever. Like just
No, not necessarily the things they name as like best game of the year, Felicia Day or something, but then like they'll say something afterwards, just be like, I don't know. I can't even think of something specific.
Well, I'm thinking about like
out there,
like Tokyo Jungle. It's like, man, the dog's boning. Not that I want to do that, but you know, a little bit. That's okay. You know,
that right there. That is like the type of improv that is like they're thinking quick on their feet and it relates to something. It's not just like herp derp funny. Bullshit. Yeah.
I do enjoy their kind of atmosphere they create where they kind of just are spitting out nonsense, and you know it's not that, or even the Osama bin Laden announcement, you know. I can't believe how quickly they exploded into this like thing they did on their video podcasts of just like
what you're talking about. I don't keep up with their podcast. Like,
okay, it's like when they read the news, like it's like Osama bin Laden was just killed. Okay, like Eric knows to start playing "You're a Real American," like the Hulk Hogan song, and they all just start like grabbing flags and weird stuff and just dancing around doing weird nonsense.
Sure,
and it's like without any planning, obviously, because it was like a live news announcement. They kind of just make a piece of weird, wacky stuff happen.
See, and when we're talking about this specifically from what you just told me, what they did with flags and stuff is what I consider the low tier of improv that I don't find funny.
Okay.
But Eric all of a sudden jumping on it and playing the song,
I'm a real
that is
American.
That right there.
Yeah.
That is the type of thing I like, where it's just like it's out there enough and just kind of on the spot that it's ridiculous, but it fits. Whereas the other one is just like this is interchangeable with any other situation.
Like Derek grabbing a plastic skeleton. That's pretty much the lowest
Yeah,
you could do.
Kind of.
It is, but
when we're talking about them specifically, and
Yeah.
I'm going to call them out by name, Derek is always the lowest one on the totem pole when I think funny.
oh, okay.
Always. Every single time.
Hmm.
Because every time he says something or whatever, he does it just in a loud, obnoxious voice to try to like be sarcastic or something, or he'll do something silly like that.
Okay.
So he's always the bottom line, where I think Rocco and Sean are more high.
But
because
Sean,
they're just-
like his personal channel, some of his stuff, it comes across as him being a dick, like just being a dick to somebody, like just flipping off.
Well, of course,
somebody
his
for
personal
no reason.
channel.
Or like
but-
throwing Garrett's ice cream on the ground and then flipping it off. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's
No, but like
more
with them on the
salt in your
podcast,
eyes.
from what I've seen and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the way they do it is very subtle, like expression type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not necessarily Rocco as much.
Well,
But
Sean is pretty low-key,
Low-key.
not talking a lot. For
Yeah.
parts of it. Yeah.
And Garrett's just kind of anywhere. So Garrett's the wild card. He's fine. He does whatever he wants, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Storecast is amazing. Bring it back. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett. Yeah, no, Garrett's pretty funny. Okay.
They're all funny. It's
Yeah,
just that
as a unit is the best when they're all together doing stuff. Because like
I hate the ones where like three of them are gone. It's just like Sean talking to like a bunch of people you don't see often. It's
Tom,
like
Kevin, and Brian are there, and it's like I'll listen.
and they're fine, but it's
Yeah.
just like these aren't the guys. They are the extras on that DVD I bought from the guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. That
Improv.
probably seems rude to say, but it's true. That's how I feel.
Well, okay. Now I'm super self-conscious about ever taking improv classes, but okay.
You probably should be.
All right.
I'm sorry I ruined your dreams.
That's okay.
One step at a time.
Okay, speaking of dreams,
Yeah. Dreamlog?
I do that actually, but
I know you do. Is that what you're getting at?
Actually, sure. I'll transition to that. So I had a dream this week where James Gandolfini had a giant, huge walrus mustache.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of standing there, and then a bomb went off, like, right near him. And all that resulted from this was a giant hole in his shirt, kind of on the left side. And he just looked kind of annoyed about this and started, like, yelling at people who I assume were members of the cast of The Sopranos and, like, accusing them of having done this car bomb or whatever. And apparently, yeah, Sopranos has seeped into my subconscious, and I'm having dumb dreams about it. I finished season 2 today. That's where I was going.
Good. Congrats.
Okay. It was pretty good. I don't know if I mean, it's like a decade and change show. They talked about Pokemons. I already mentioned that part, right?
Yes. Yes, you have.
Yes. People died. There were some people that died. Characters.
Important ones?
One of them, yeah. Actually, I guess two of them, but one has kind of only been in season 2, so I kind of got the sense, oh, this person is probably gonna butt heads with Tony sooner or later. But yeah, the there's an informant. There was, that whole thing of there's rats, ratting people out to the FBI. That is the constant dilemma of the organized crime show. So they figured out who one of those people were and shot them a bunch of times with pistols on a boat.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So there you go. Sopranos. It's still popping off over here. Season 3 time. I've heard season 3 is one of the better seasons. Season 3 and season 5 are the ones people are like, oh my god. So exciting times.
How do you feel about being excited for season 3 and then having to go through season 4 before you get to another good one?
I am not sure what is with season 4, because yeah, it is lower rated. Like every single episode is below an 8 on IMDb, and I know that's not like the best way to gauge like perception or whatever, but it seems so specific to me that this season is considered a lame duck, and I don't know why. Like I don't know if there was a writer's strike or anything. It's just something about that season people don't like, and I think it is the first season of the show that will happen after 9/11 took place, so maybe they had to scramble and kind of adjust to that as like maybe a point in the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that would obviously impact the mindsets of people who live in New Jersey, right?
Yep.
So they probably have to scramble a bit.
Yeah,
and be like,
for sure.
Oh shit, we need to like change our trajectory and acknowledge this real world thing that happened, or else our show will seem totally out of touch, or something. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Like, I'm assuming all the scripts and stuff for season 3 were in the can before that happened, because I'm pretty sure it ends just after 9/11 happened, like 2000, 2001. It might go into 2002, but like they were done before, so that might be the first one that acknowledges that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious. But yeah, it's shows have ups and downs, so I will go through it, and yeah, that'll happen. Okay, I really want to talk about the steak I ate though.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
That
was just such a natural. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I truly apologize.
I mean, it's our cooking part of the show. I went to Applebee's, which I know not well regarded in any way, exactly. But
yeah, sure.
I ordered the ribeye steak and asked for it to be rare, and it was like the rarest steak I've eaten in years, maybe ever. Like, it was what I would consider blue rare. Like, it was like, oh, this is just raw meat inside.
Okay, was it officially blue rare though? What you consider blue rare and what actually is blue is different, probably.
There were sections of it that were very, very blue. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was rarer than I anticipated. It was delicious though.
Yeah, meat is very good.
I wasn't sure if it was the rarity of the cooking or the fact that it was a ribeye versus like a other cut. Like, I'm not sure.
Both, and that you probably got like actual Alberta beef.
Okay.
As well.
But man,
it's high quality stuff. Like, it's weird because you know how everybody says, oh, Alberta beef, whatever, because we're in Alberta.
Yeah.
Like, you don't actually get it unless you go to a place that serves like real food and not just like the Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I wouldn't necessarily consider the Applebee's real business, but it just kind of worked out this time. I was really happy with what I got.
No, I'm pretty sure like that type of stuff and like your Montanas that you have here and Chili's and stuff, I'm pretty sure they serve like actual Alberta beef from like the farmers here.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying it's obviously a step up over like processed meat shipped from wherever.
That's right. Because when it's a chain like that sort of thing, then they just ship like the patties, right? And then they cook them up and serve them. That's all they do.
Yeah.
So when you go to a place to sit down, they actually cook the meat.
Yeah. But man, no, I was really like, I think I don't know. Like, I always order rare. Like, I just say rare, please. But I don't know. They took that very seriously there this time. If you specify blue rare, are you asking for like maybe health trouble? Like, I was a little scared after I ate it because I was like, I mean, this is like really raw meat, and I'm under the impression that's not supposed to happen, but it was really good. So
I mean, yeah, you're asking for trouble if you're a bitch.
Okay, so going forward, I'm gonna try to get that every time.
Another thing is because like people eat steak tartare and stuff like that, which is literally raw meat.
Okay.
With other stuff and like spices and shit, you can eat raw meat. Mm-hmm. You just got to make sure it's sanitary, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just go to like I'm just trying to think of a random place here that probably wouldn't make sense to anybody else.
Kind of place,
like mom and pa's like kill grill or something, and just be like, yeah, I'll get the rawest thing you have, please, and they serve you a possum. You can't eat that.
Yeah. Okay. So you consider where you are and like the general hygiene apparent just in the place before you order that. But I mean, what I'm told
is before you put it in your mouth, if you look at it and it looks like it's been sitting for even like a little longer than maybe like half an hour, like, don't fucking eat it.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Is that another thing? Like, you need to eat that thing fast before cultures start growing, or what?
Or it needed to be like refrigerated very good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
the problem is when you refrigerate anything, freezer burn, right? That's the problem. And then you lose taste, but it's not unsafe.
Right.
It's just not as good.
So you're kind of searing both sides to the point where there's no bacteria anymore, and the inside's clean, right?
Right. I mean,
Okay.
for a blue steak, what you're doing is you're basically turning on your pan or whatever, and when it's really hot, you fucking throw the steak down and then turn it, and then you're done. Like, you're basically just burning the ends so it looks like a normal steak, but then when you cut in, all the delicious juices and like it's all nice and red and magenta and shit inside.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good. So
Yeah.
steaks, though they're
Steaks.
good. And I'm a carnivore, I guess. Omnivore? Yeah. I had a lot of broccoli yesterday.
Broccoli's very good too.
Yeah.
Broccoli and steak, fantastic.
Mhm. Actually, yeah, we went to a brunch. Anyway, okay, whatever. Enough food talk. Let's finally move on to the voicemail. Sorry for delaying that with Alec Guinness talk and steaks and Sopranos and all that.
It was all important.
Yeah, I thought so. No one's here to yell at me
agree.
other than Paul, and he was okay with it. So there you go.
I'm okay with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm not okay with?
Me not playing Pokemon?
No, this.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan, I think you're a cool dude.
Yay!
April Fools!
Oh.
Anyways, my worst April Fools joke was a cute guy I liked asking me out. And then he said April Fools right after. As a joke, so Meowth felt really sad that day.
That's really
She also
mean.
kicked him in the nuts and just moved
No,
on
don't
for
do
the day.
that either, though.
But the rest of the day was spent watching movies. And feeling a little depressed on the inside. Because, you know, Meow doesn't like her heart being torn up like that. It's
Get
quite
used to it.
sad for her, and unhealthy.
third person.
And that's why I hate April Fool's Day. So now I'm asking you, Paul and Nathan, what are your worst moments on April Fool's Day?
I just realized, like, when I listen to these back sort of thing when I'm editing,
Yeah.
some things get cut off because, like, the sound and my mic are kind of on the same channel, like, for the recording.
Okay.
So I just want to state when she said, like, getting her heart broken or whatever, I didn't say get used to it. I said you get used to it.
Oh, okay.
So I know that probably I just wanted to clarify that so I didn't sound like just the worst.
Extra mean, yeah, just throwing salt in wounds and stuff.
That's a terrible April Fool.
That's pretty mean. That's like high school drama on TV kind of mean. Like an episode of Degrassi probably featured that at some
Or
point.
like Mean Girls.
Yeah, that's like something a character would do.
Mean Girls 3, April Fool's Day.
They did make a direct-to-DVD sequel. I don't know if they made another one.
No, I know. That's why I said 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're well aware of what
I am
we're at.
well aware.
Yep.
So aware.
Man, I don't know if I've ever really had like bad pranks played on me. Like the things I remember is like, oh, remember when IGN made that like fake Zelda trailer? Yeah. Like that's one.
They're
Remember-
all internet based. But
Yeah.
the thing is,
Nowadays.
since I don't believe things that people tell me in the best circumstances, I just completely flat out disregard anything anybody says ever on April 1st. Like somebody
Right.
says something, like if somebody's like, hey, your car's being impounded, I'm just like flipping them off and saying April Fool's motherfucker. And then I have to go to the impound lot sort of thing. Like I don't believe anything.
Right.
So-
Like you're skeptical on the best of days. So on the
Right.
day of lies, it's just like no one today is genuine at all. Like this is
That's
all
right.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember that being a major thing at school or anything. Any job I've ever done, like no one's pranking. Like yeah. I honestly am coming
Yeah.
up totally blank on actual well thought out pranks that stuck in my memory as
Me too. I guess
things.
what we're both saying then in response to this voicemail is that you are the only one in the world who has ever felt that way.
You're the only one that was actually pranked. on it.
In the whole world, you're the only person that got pranked.
I mean, our sample group is only 2 people, but based on those results, 0% of people
Okay,
were pranked.
we're going to take a quick poll right now, okay?
Okay.
How many people in this call right now got pranked on April Fool's Day?
I wasn't pranked.
Yeah, me neither. 100% of people
100%.
were not pranked.
The results are in. Gallup poll confirmed.
That's right. Anyways, next voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nathan. It's
Yay.
spring, so that means winter's done, so that means there's gonna be more anime for me to watch. But I fell behind on some anime because there was just too much that I had to watch.
Yeah.
Kill la Kill being one of them. So now I finished up Samurai Flamenco, and that show is pretty awesome. I mean, it's so bad that it's good, unlike Sword Art Online. Don't worry, Krasnor, the bad stuff doesn't happen until season 2, so don't worry, you'll be good until then.
Yay.
And also, I saw movies! Yay! I saw 300 Rising, and that was awesome. I also saw the Muppet movie, and that was awesome, because I like the Muppets. I also saw Sherman and Mr. Peabody, and that was a fun movie, too, because it had a talking doggy. And they were also wearing glasses, and so they were smart. So, yeah, Nathan, you wear glasses, so that must mean you're smart, right? Probably not. It's the audio, because we're halfway through the voicemail, too. Silly Nathan, you gotta work on fixing that. Use your brain, try to figure out what's wrong with your headphone thingy or whatever. But anyways, what movies have you been watching? I know Paul's been talking about Jumanji on the Netflix, and I know Nathan's been watching Sopranos. But I don't know what other movies Nathan's been watching. Probably some bad ones from the 80s or something, because he's an old man.
That's totally true!
Wait, I guess, Brazil's from 85. Yeah, okay.
Oh god, we've been doing this too long.
Patterns have developed. But hey, Rushmore's from the late 90s, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is even older. So, late 60s, take that.
Just, Sherman and Mr. Peabody.
Yeah.
Some people that listen to this, do you think they're too young to know that was like a skit in the Rocky and Bullwinkle show?
I mean, I barely knew what it was.
See, there was a while there where we didn't have a lot of channels. So, like, every time that was on, even though I kind of hated it, I saw a lot of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Like, an obscene amount. So I know very well what all their shorts were. So,
I remember Rocky and Bullwinkle. I just don't remember the bits with Peabody and Sherman.
See, I liked those ones the most, though, because all it was... Remember how I said the reason why I know a lot of literature is because of Wishbone?
Yeah.
That's how I know... Because of that short is how I know about stuff like Pompeii. Like, you know what I mean? Where they, like, go back in time and learn about this thing that happened. Then you would go into school the next day and just be like, oh, it's like Pompeii. And then your teachers are like, you're the most genius child ever. It's like, no, my parents are just too cheap to afford the good cable.
Ah, okay. So they would kind of do little windows in history and like, here's Julius Caesar or something.
Well, that was their thing. They traveled in time.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought they were like scientists.
Sherman is an idiot. And
That's
Mr. Peabody, the talking dog, would take him back and teach him about history.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, they had like a cameo in The Simpsons. That's where I like was like, oh, okay.
Quiet, you.
Like, yeah, what is this reference? Oh, okay. And that's like what I know the name from. And then, this movie came out, and I have no real frame of reference for seeing that. I'm kind of just... I didn't like that they made a Muppet movie 3 years ago, so I am old.
Okay, though.
I guess so, but...
Did you watch it?
I did, yeah.
It was a Muppet movie.
Like, I left... Well, Jim Henson's dead, though, dude.
I know, but I mean, who cares?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
I was just, I don't know. It's not like I went in determined to have a parade rained on. I just had that happen. Like, I left and was just like, I don't like that. I don't want that to exist.
To this day, we still joke about here your one tweet that's like, you know what needs more raining on? Parades. Hashtag fuck parades. That's still like one of the funniest things here at the house here.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. I'm glad that worked out.
As for like the other stuff, she's totally on the ball. Like, I didn't watch Jumanji, but I was talking a lot about it. Yeah. And you watched a bunch of films from the 80s, which were either decent or not. Like,
well, I brought up 3 movies, and one of them was from the 80s. And do you have any interest in the new 300 movie?
No.
Yeah, okay. Me neither. But, yeah, slow motion's cool. Whatever.
Next voicemail. Here we go.
Next voicemail.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Paul. I mixed it up this week with the greeting. Anyways, I watched episode 116 of the podcast. where Marshmallow talks about Asperger's, and you wouldn't believe it, guys, but I also have it. I mean, it was probably obvious anyways with how I talk. But yes. And I'm worse because I am a girl and I have it, and I didn't really get diagnosed with it until I was a 9th grader in high school. Because, that's when it really develops that if girls don't act like girls, that means there's something wrong with them, right? And I guess the doctor finally diagnosed it, so now I'm trying to get help for it, which is good. I just don't like how my parents want me to be a normal person, even though most of the time when you're a girl and you're trying to be normal, girls are usually assholes, like Nathan is.
Yeah. Wait, Mean Girls.
Well, I hope that made you laugh, Paul. Anyways, that's
did.
the problem I have with the Asperger syndrome. And I almost saw Nathan had Asperger's until Paul said that comment that he doesn't.
Well, I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah, okay.
Nathan wears glasses though, so that's a thing. And Paul looks really weird without facial hair. So that's the thing. I know Paul's not a celebrity, but he is a Paul.
Yep.
And Nathan,
is a Paul.
this is your chance. You have to grow a huge mustache or a huge beard to rival Paul's not huge beard. So go for it, Nathan.
He's already done it.
I'm trying. Yeah, it does not match the James Gandolfini dream mustache, but someday. Only I saw that though. In mind's eye. I haven't been to a doctor in a while. I don't know if you mentioning it. I don't know. Is that
was before we talked a lot?
Okay.
Because my impression of you was that every time I heard you talk on TDP, it was the other two would be talking about stuff, and then you would just be obsessed with the one game you played. Just for an hour or half an hour or whatever, you would just continue talking and just every aspect of this thing, and it's just that's totally an Asperger's thing right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's just that you're excitable.
I hope maybe I don't know.
Or were. Things have changed.
Yeah, now I'm just grouchy
ever
about
since
stuff.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes came out, everything is terrible.
Yeah, I peaked. That was the last thing that blew my mind that thoroughly.
It's hilarious, actually, because that really is the moment where it changed. It's so weird.
Yeah, we have it recorded. You can listen to the last time I was that purely excited. I got really excited about that pony thing, but then it kind of disappointed me eventually in subsequent seasons. As longtime listeners will see the chart of that. But yeah,
I think it's healthy to really like something and then kind of hate it after a bit.
No, I don't hate everything about it. It's just they didn't. I wish Lauren Faust stayed on the show. Anyway,
I think it's important to lose enthusiasm then, to be more succinct about what I meant.
Okay, don't get overzealous. It's just no, it's just
it's just that when you have the overzealous part of you. Mm-hmm. Then when it burns out, I think it's important for things to burn out to make way for new things.
Yeah, I guess that does fuel the hunt for new things all the time.
Yeah.
Revisiting other things or, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Keeps the fires burning. You got to put more logs in there to keep the fire.
All the logs. They have to be thrown on, and what else can you throw in there?
Chairs.
A wooden idol or whatever. Alarm clock.
There's an alarm clock right next to me here.
A spider's nest.
A spider nest?
A
web or
a pouch of seeds,
eggs.
Sunflower seeds.
Okay, just a bag of
Inferno
spits.
in stores now.
Burning Inferno. Oh yeah, that Little Inferno. That was one of my favorite games that year. That was a cool game. Anyway, okay.
Okay, next voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nathan.
Yeah.
Last week was the last news Space Dandy until July. Now I'm sad, Meowth. Poor cutie. So, Nathan, with that said, are you going to grow up here and get caught up with Space Dandy before July? I'm willing to bet the $10 I won from Proton Second Hero that asshole plays Pokemon before Polly Walnuts plays GTA Online with me. I say Proton Second Hero because he still hasn't uploaded the Monster Hunter episodes where I talk. I bet Proton John uploads more frequently than Hero. Hashtag shots fired, hashtag sorry not sorry. I'm literally dying to see myself hunt from Proton Second Hero's view. Oh god, I just got sad. Gundam Build Fighters ended this week. No more new Gundam episodes until fall. God damn it. My question is, what are your thoughts on Hajime Katoki and his redesigns? I think Katoki makes everything better. Ver-Ka, am I right? I'm just fucking with ya. My question is, how long do you think it will be before you are each plotting each other's murder? How will you do it, and what do you think you will do with the body? I'll see you at the stream. I'm gonna go read Toriko now.
I seriously thought that was his question, and I was starting to look up who the fuck he was talking.
I was typing in Hotoki, Gundam, like, what?
That
Did
was
you
so,
mean
that was good.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Rabuto. We
also,
talked about murdering this week, but neither of us made each other's lists, so...
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
What? There isn't a circumstance where I would do that.
Like, even in fiction where it's like, I just got bit by a zombie or something. Like, oh, Paul, I'm going to turn into a flesh-eating monster within the hour.
That's not what he's asking. Okay, so I'm turning into a zombie within the hour. How will you elaborately kill me?
I guess this is more sadistic planning murder. That's more devious. Yeah, no, okay. That manner of killing wouldn't happen.
Like, I can't even answer, because that wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't.
There you go. No nonsense.
But, let's think about, let's just pretend that's somebody else.
Okay,
let's answer
KanYe.
the question still.
Okay,
KanYe. How will you kill KanYe Weast?
I don't even... Okay, like I said, Kevlar vest.
Yeah.
Helmet of some kind.
Yeah. There was this one move when we were... Okay, so we did this thing. I wanted to start this kind of thing where it's like, there's a lot of games or activities or whatever that people might be interested in. Yeah. But they don't know how to start or where to start or like any of that stuff. And one of those things for me has always been Dungeons and Dragons. So last week from this recording, I talked to somebody who is a dungeon master. Mm-hmm. And we did kind of like a little 3-hour recording of like the basics about Dungeons and Dragons, how it functions and how you create a character and what to look for and stuff like that. One move that the other guy that was talking with us, David Hebrew Lantern, said that would be kind of cool. Maybe this is how I'll kill them. Okay, so in one hand, in your right hand, you have a sickle. In your left hand, you have a longsword. So what you do is you take the sickle hand, your right hand, you put the sickle behind their neck and pull them into you from the neck. Now, since they don't want their head to be sliced off, they're going to, like, not force against this blade, right?
Okay.
So you're pulling them into you, and as you're doing so, you're brandishing the longsword with the left hand and kind of stabbing it into them as they come in until the point where the friction is too much and they no longer slide down your longsword, and then the sickle keeps going and cuts their head right off.
Jeez, okay. So it's like an elaborate weapon combo that you would brandish.
So basically, you're pulling them in, sword, sickle, head cut off, and then for a flourish, you could take the sword, if your left hand is very, like, strong, and just slice it through them. Like, out. Instead of just, like, pulling it out, you just, like, slice their whole body in half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
I was just looking up how do you buy dual pistols in Counter-Strike, because dual pistols is weapon of choice. So I got my Kevlar, I got my helmet. Maybe it's just too much Counter-Strike in my teenage years, but this is my plan.
Your plan is to shoot
whip out
somebody.
2 pistols at like an award show or something, and just blah, 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 blah. And boom.
At an award show?
Yeah, it's at the MTV Movie Awards. So it seemed like vengeance for the Taylor Swift thing, but unrelated.
It's at the Much Music Teen Choice Awards.
Yeah. Hopefully collateral damage isn't anyone of true cultural value.
Kim Kardashian. Next voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, hey, asshole. So last week my parents went to Eau Claire, which is basically the largest city near where I live that has a tolerable driving distance. I digress though. While they were there, they went to Books A Million, which is like the only bookstore within 50 miles of my house that sells manga. They picked up One Piece 69 and 70. Now I've subscribed to Shonen Jump for over a year, so along with One Piece 69 and 70, I had a year of One Piece to read on my tablet. And I did. I read like 2 whole years of One Piece in less than 5 days. All that One Piece was magical. I read and read until I was all caught up. Do you know what the first thing I thought after finishing all that One Piece was, though? I want to read more One Piece. I can't, though. I have to wait until Monday before I get more One Piece. I want One Piece. God damn it. You translator fucks, give me my goddamn One Piece. I like One Piece. Pretty much all I did was read One Piece when I was offline, and even when I was online, unless I had to read subtitles, I was reading One Piece. I really wanted to slow down and savor the One Piece, but I couldn't. I had to know what was happening. My question is, what 2 jobs do you think I wanted when I was younger? I think it's easier to guess than you'd think. Maybe. I'll see you at the stream.
Manga translator? And
wait.
pirate?
What's the manga that he wanted again? I completely forgot.
One
It was
piece?
like three partials.
Three bits.
2 bits?
2 bits. Yeah, it's about Victorian England buying stuff there at the market. One Piece, hey?
Pirate, yeah, probably.
Like based on the content of most of that question and where it led, I'm guessing, yeah, pirate and manga reviewer. Is that a thing?
It has to be.
Or manga artist? Or
Anime Vice.
Yeah, the failed whiskey site.
It's still up, though, and you can still buy a subscription for it.
Really?
Yep. In fact, when you go to GiantBomb.com to renew your subscription, you get a subscription to both Giant Bomb and Anime Vice.
But what does that get me at Anime Vice?
Or is it Comic Vine? I don't know. It's probably Comic Vine.
This website has so clearly not been updated in forever because they're still screened at the bottom, and when I click on it, that is not screened anymore because it's movie phone.
Actually, screen is gone. It's dead.
Yeah, it's fully dead, like scrubbed from the internet, which is sad because I kind of liked it. I had a lot of stuff there too. You didn't like it?
No. You did have stuff there?
Yeah, I posted a bunch of stuff.
See, I had one thing there, and I took it right away and put it on PR.
Oh, okay.
You should have done that.
I should have done that before it was done. But One Piece. Do you have any thoughts on One Piece, Paul?
I don't know anything about it, so...
He's got stretchy arms, and the Canadianized, North American theme song is like, Daigo,
What is
Daigo.
it that we were laughing so hard about? Yeah. I read like 5 years worth of One Piece manga in a year.
2 years in 5 days.
2 years in 5 days. And we just started laughing.
Yeah, that is so much reading, but cool that a story has you hooked, I guess. But yeah, those translators should get on it. If their only job is to convert a already made thing into another thing to sell copies, they should get on that. But I guess then they'd dry up and they wouldn't have a continuous revenue stream, so business reasons. I'm going to type in One Piece.
One Piece, One Piece, One Piece.
Ready
for the next voicemail?
Yep.
Here we go.
Hey Paul, hey Nathaniel. So lately I've been seeing these tweets and retweets that really annoy me. These tweets are shit like, oh, you're an anime fan, but you've only watched Dragon Ball Z and Naruto? SMH. Here's another one. This one is an actual tweet, by the way, word for word it is. Only real anime fans know what my header is. FYI, it is that shitty-ass Sword Art Online, so fuck that guy. Basically, these people are saying you are only a real anime fan if you watch certain anime. Also, what is wrong with liking Dragon Ball and Naruto? I especially have a problem with this because those were 2 of the first 3 anime I watched before I moved on to other things. Better things. I like them, sure, but are they my favorite? Fuck no. You know what they are, though? They're perfect anime for people new to anime. They're easy to find, and chances are you have heard of them. These dumbasses shouldn't be putting them down, they should be recommending new anime. How's this, you fucks? The only real anime fans have watched all of Gundam Build Fighters. Yeah, you fucks are just a bunch of pretenders now. This is just the whole no true Scotsman fallacy thing that the religious employ all the time. Religion is a whole other voicemail, though. My question is it wrong to hate hateful people as long as you realize you are no better than them in doing so? I'll see you at the stream.
Yeah,
That's a loaded fucking question.
What?
That's a loaded question to be asking us specifically.
Yeah. Yes, it's totally okay. I encourage it.
In fact, you don't even need to hate hateful people. You can just hate anybody.
Yeah. Like, whatever. Successful rap stars, wives of rap stars, whatever. Open season on the hate train.
I think he probably has something, though, where it's like, the reason
people being, like, really entitled about their interests or whatever, like, it's just like, well, I'm a real movie fan because I watched this old silent movie from the 20s, so blah. That's me. Sometimes. But I don't know.
I'm trying to relate it to video games, because I think that's a common... Like, not everybody probably has your thing with movies.
Sure, but
not everybody has... I mean, we don't even have their thing with anime.
Right.
So, like, I think video games might be the common ground.
Common ground here. So, you know, if I got mad at everyone who is reviewing anything...
because it's not like Rogue.
Exactly. Yeah. Or, like, I was going to say, one of my favorite games, Deadly Premonition... And a lot of people haven't played it, so that doesn't totally invalidate their entire... Well, I kind of...
Yeah.
See, it's hard, because when you read someone saying Far Cry 3 is a great game, but they didn't like Deadly Premonition, it's just kind of like, what is this even for, then? You know? Like, your system's out of whack, son.
Right.
Hypothetically, this might be a person. Anyway.
It's a great game.
I played it. Eventually I did actually put like 5 hours into it. I don't really care about anything going on. I don't know. I don't want to play it anymore.
Who said you had to care about it? It's a video game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't even want to like climb the towers or do the stuff past a certain point. It's just like I just won't click this executable anymore. Like, kind of over it.
It's executable.
Yeah, it's on here. Click play on Steam. I just don't do that. Honestly. Like, the Uplay stumbling block is one of the reasons for that.
Okay.
Like, I just hate that there's a separate login. Like, it's just like, fuck it, I'll just play something else. Like, I don't know.
That's like how I tried playing Mass Effect 3 about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I got in, but I will never load it up again because Origin.
Oh, really? It requires, like, a separate login again?
Well, yeah, you have to log into Origin. It's not out on Steam.
Oh, to play it on PC?
Right. Well, to play it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I guess that EA kind of catches that. But you were playing Old Republic. That requires it too, right?
Nope. Own separate launcher, like any other MMO.
Oh, weird.
So you launch the Star Wars launcher, then you click the Play Now button, and then you're in.
Oh, okay.
So it's an MMO in that regard.
Man, sorry, I guess this is kind of a specific thing of, like, hating people who hate... Okay, so people who are being hateful about stuff. I'm honestly thinking, like, in relation to, like, you should watch this anime, not this other anime. Like, I do find lists that are phrased in a way of, you should watch this before you die, or this is something you probably haven't seen. Like, incredibly snarky, like, inherently. Like, they make me mad. Like, it's just like, whatever, I didn't spend hours of my time doing the exact things you were doing, but you didn't do the exact things I was doing, so who's to say who was wrong? Like, fuck off, kind of. So I agree with the fuck off.
I'm still trying to think of another thing that kind of... Oh, okay, I got it right here.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Yeah?
If you've played that, you're a piece of shit because you didn't play the original. That's the same thing he's kind of saying, where it's like, this is the gateway that got people into this story, as, like, ridiculous, as convoluted as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, updated it sort of thing. But, like, there's other stuff that...
There's, like weird elitist purists who hate
exactly.
that. And it's just like, okay, the game you like is old and clunky, so maybe some perspective on that. Like, I still like it, but I'm glad someone else tuned it up a little bit and made it more fun.
You know what? The more fun part I don't even see, and that's because I skip the cutscenes. I've seen them all before, so it's like, I'm just playing this game right now. I don't need the half-hour cutscene. I'm good.
Well, the Twin Snakes, I just mean, like, it's first-person combat. Like, it's just easier to play.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's that example. But okay. Fair enough.
I think that's what he's getting at, but I think those gateway things are important. Like how he was saying, like, the Dragon Ball Z got me into it, and then it's like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. Maybe I should see what other things are kind of cool like this.
You're right. Like, instead of jumping down...
You know what? You watch that? Fuck you! Like, what?
Like, yeah. No. Like, I guess I should come at it as, like, hey, you like horror games, why don't you try Deadly Premonition? Like, I mean, it's a bit weird, but if you get over the kind of hump of the graphics and stuff, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Come at it in a positive, encouraging way, as opposed to, like, you shouldn't have even played Resident Evil 5. That shit's garbage. Deadly Premonition. Like, that's, you win the more bees with honey than with vinegar. Cliches. Vinegar, every time.
I love vinegar.
Douse your fries in vinegar.
I do.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Salt and vinegar and chips.
You don't? You're
delicious.
Retarded.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, next time you have French fries, you should try some vinegar on there, buddy. Like, that's how you should phrase that. And then I'll be like, oh, maybe I will.
You're not a real fry eater if you use ketchup.
I love ketchup, but I guess
I'm real fry eater.
But I bought balsamic vinegar ketchup, so it's best of both worlds.
That sounds gross. No, I couldn't do that.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hoping it's not gross because I have a whole bottle of it.
Did you actually buy it?
Yeah, I can see it from here. I hope it's good. I'll find out soon. We got some waffle fries in the freezer.
Bring it tomorrow.
What? Just show up?
No, we'll stop along the way. We'll grab lunch.
Oh, okay. Like, grab some big thing of fries somewhere on the way to work?
Yeah. It's called Burger King. Our
okay.
bus goes right by it.
Okay, I'm still learning the tricks. I didn't know.
Okay, last voicemail. Here we go.
Hello, is this thing on? I was listening to the Pixel Response podcast, and I was listening to that one weird question from that Birds Beast guys about if there was a secondary character you'd rather have playable as the main character instead of the main character.
Okay.
And there was lots of talk, about the various kinds of characters that would be playable, and I was thinking, since you guys were talking about Ninja Gaiden Z, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but don't fucking judge me, okay? I don't fucking like when people judge me. You better not fucking judge me. I was wondering what other games you'd like to play where you play the enemy of the hero, like, say, what if you got to play a Goomba who got fucking powers and shit, or a Koopa Troopa that also got fucking powers and shit. And that's all I wanted to say. And that Krasnor guy better answer me or he'll really piss me off. Oh. See you later!
Alright, weird characters are phoning.
Okay, I mean, first of all, if you played as a Goomba or like a powered-up Koopa Troopa, that might make Mario interesting for the first time in like 30 years.
Well, yeah, you were kind of raining on that thing earlier. So, fair enough. You play as Bowser periodically in some of them.
Okay, sure.
Mario and Luigi.
Actually, you know what? You know why I like Super Mario Brothers 2?
Why's that?
Because it wasn't made as a fucking Super Mario Brothers game.
Okay. It dared to be different because it was?
No, it was literally made to be another game, and then Nintendo threw their own characters in. That's why it's so weird.
Yeah. So that's the last good one you're saying? But is there any games like where you want to play?
That's not the last good one.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
3 was really good. But okay, antagonist instead of the protagonist, I guess.
Yeah. There's probably a whole lot of them, and I will tell you them as soon as I remember. So,
Revolver Ocelot.
Nathan.
If you played as him and you're taking down Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4, like if you made Metal Gear Solid 4 Gaiden, I guess you could say.
Oh, dude. Okay, first of all.
Yeah?
The end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Sort of. I've been thinking about it more recently, and I kind of want to play it again.
I'm talking about the fist fight.
The fist fight, I remember, yes.
Oh, God, so good! Like,
I was kind of just annoyed that I had to
just talking about it right now, I came. It's gone.
Okay.
So I'm relaxed now. No, but
I guess I was just annoyed that I was beating to death a character I liked more than the character I was playing as. Which is kind of this... Like, okay, honestly, like, Solid Snake, I kind of lost the plot with that dude, because he is in, like, 2 games, and kind of barely in one of them. And...
I mean, the best character in all those games is Big Boss, because
Exactly!
Yeah.
So, coming off of 3, it's like, I'm all jazzed about that stuff, and it's like 4, it's like, hey, remember this guy? He's gonna kill this cool-ass character that you just got a bunch of backstory in 3. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, I don't actually want to do that. Beat him to death! I don't want to... Oh, okay.
The best part about that was the different theme music's playing.
Yeah, like through the different eras, the different health bars.
Oh, I just did it again.
Okay. That's
sorry.
Kind of a really fast turnaround. That's like that dude in Kinsey, but okay.
Yeah.
That's one noteworthy villain character that I found really cool that I wouldn't mind getting some more attention.
The ghost is Spelunky.
The ghost... The ghost is terrifying to me. I know, like, it's so weird to me that high-level play is just like, oh yeah, you just avoid that ghost and make him give you more money. And it's just like, no, dude, that ghost is fucked up. Like, I know you guys are dancing with the devil and all that, but I still get the willies when the ghost shows up. I'm not that confident.
I'm going to say Seymour in Final Fantasy X, because even as a techno-haired colored freak with a terrible whiny voice,
yeah,
still better than the main character.
But you said over the course of 80 hours, you start to feel for good old Titus, the memory zone.
No, not him.
Oh, okay.
The relationship between the two.
Oh, okay. So
I guess what I'm saying is I love Yuna.
Okay. And by proxy, people she thinks are cool, or at least acceptable.
Oh, okay. Handsome Jack in Borderlands 2 could be fun.
Okay, I haven't played
Borderlands. A nice turnaround where you're trying to kill Vault Hunters instead of, like, not...
So would that just be kind of like a tower defense game, and you have a vault, and all these, like, dumbasses are coming at your vault, and you're...
It would essentially be the same game, because if you played... Borderlands 2, you're kind of racing for the vault, which is actually like a giant ancient being that you can control as a weapon.
Oh, okay.
So in a way, it's kind of the same game, just with a different outcome.
Huh. Like, I know Dead Rising 2 recast the main character, but it wasn't as a villain. But it seems like you could almost do that with Borderlands 2, and it's just like, yeah, you're Jack now. And you also go on pretty much the same missions, and you're trying to get the same end goal. It's like, oh, okay. But I guess but people would react to him differently, right? Like, Tiny Tina wouldn't be your friend. Right? I didn't play that game. Did I just say something absurd?
Tina.
What?
I hate Tiny Tina.
Okay.
I can't stand her. She's the worst character in a video game.
I really need to play that game then, just to see
Like, apologies to Ashley Birch, maybe, because it seems like that character is just her, only more pronounced. I don't know. Whatever. You know what? It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to do right now is think in my head about interesting villains.
Yeah.
Because what villains are in video games are essentially just like the obstacle. And you never want to play just an obstacle, because an obstacle doesn't do anything except for...
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to play as Dr. like, Robotnik. It's like, he's not really a fleshed out thing. And you can play as him in some stuff, but not in, like, he's driving a crazy vehicle with a giant ball attached to it.
Well, what I'm saying is that a video game wouldn't be inherently fun if you're playing the thing that your only purpose is to slow down the main dude that everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
So that's not what you want. Maybe what you want is, going back to Metal Gear Solid, you kind of do play as a villain. You play as Big Boss. Like, Big Boss was the villain. Before you started playing as him and stuff, he was the baddie. He was the one that you were going against in Outer Heaven and all that.
As Solid Snake in, like, the first games.
That's right. And it wasn't until they actually did this, what if you played as a villain, and you realize he is a completely three-dimensional character, and his reasons for being the villain were because he knows this other stuff that's going on, and this is his way to kind of rebel against it. So, like, in that way, they actually did make you play the villain, and it turned around who the villain was. That's what makes an interesting game, and that's why I still think Snake Eater is my favorite one.
Because it gives you, like, hey, you are this former villain. Like, well, you are the villain, but now you know what he's all about, and, oh, guess what? He's not a villain anymore, because the nature of conflict is super subjective.
That's exactly right.
No, yeah, it's pretty brilliant. You're right. Metal Gear is the best.
No argument there at all.
I'm trying to think of any other, like...
Metal Gear is the best. You're right.
Yep, good job. You nailed it right on the head.
You kind of play the villain in Hotline Miami for, like, a thing.
You're just like you have the highest body count of anybody in that game.
Yeah, like, I was going to say, like, the motorcycle guy, but, like, he's not even really a villain. He's still just a pawn. Like, I guess the real villains would be the dudes sitting there, and, like, it would be dialogue options the game to tell other guys to go kill these people.
Right, like, who's ever phoning in all these hits? Those guys. Well, those guys. Never mind. It's those two dirtbags in that basement.
Yeah.
Right, all that's solved. And then motorcycle guy kills other guy, so...
But he's still not the villain. He's just kind of like another
player, yeah. I'm still curious about that sequel. I hope it's fun.
Just an old killer.
Yeah.
Do some wet work.
Red Dead, I mean, John Marston's kind of a checkered past, villainy kind of dude. He gets screwed over by the government, which is the real villain. So, the man...
In real life, too.
Yeah, is there a game where you just play as, like, some dirtbag businessman?
As the man?
Yeah. Jordan Belfort.
Is there a game where you play the man?
Yeah.
Is that kind of like, I want to be the guy, only it's like, I am the man?
I am the man, and you just kind of sit there and don't do a lot, and you make billions of dollars. And you can do whatever you want, and no one can stop you. Except one guy with a Kevlar vest and 2 pistols at the MTV Music Awards. He's the only one.
That's right.
He's the only one that can stop you.
So dark again.
The hero. The misguided hero. Don't do that, kids.
I mean, I guess, in a way, in StarCraft, you do play the villain. You can play Zerg.
Yeah. Like weird aliens.
And you straight up do have Sarah Kerrigan in the first game as, like, your main hero while you're doing the RTS stuff, so you do play the eventual villain in that series.
I'm trying to think, like, honestly, the G-Man in Half-Life, like, Half-Life switches roles for you in their expansions and stuff, but I kind of like, what was that guy doing, and where was he going? And, like, it's probably, like, just almost like he's pulling levers and pressing buttons and not really doing anything, but I still kind of just want to know, like, what is that guy? He's basically Rod Serling or something, but why? What is happening?
The more I'm thinking about it, actually, the games where you do play the villain, like the games that actually do this, are the most interesting in gaming history.
Like what? Like Metal Gear?
Well, besides Snake Eater,
yeah,
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I guess so.
So like it's weird because you don't think of them as a villain because since you're playing them, they are the protagonist. But the protagonist is not necessarily the hero. They can be the villain. And it always seems to be that the games where you play the anti-hero or the villain sort of thing as your main protagonist, the reason that makes them so interesting is because they look at the world in a different way that's very selfish.
Yeah.
And, like, me as a player, when I'm playing a game and, like, the goal is to do something I want, like this character wants, and it's fun, that is a good thing.
Right.
So, but the thing is, like, it's hard to say where the game where you'd rather, like, turn the tables and play the villain, because there are games that do that, and they are by far the better ones out there, probably. So,
Like, now I'm thinking of Saints Row and also Braid.
Or like Hitman.
I wouldn't...
Anti-hero.
I guess I also wouldn't constitute those as like some of the best games ever, but...
No, of course.
But they do cast you in a dark role. Or Grand Theft Auto. Like, actually, the best game of last year, I would say, had you play villains. So, there you have it.
Okay.
There you have it. Those games exist, and they're awesome. Woo!
Yeah, so good voicemail, actually. You made us think about games that are great, where you play as the anti-hero.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking of Chrono Trigger. I know Magus is, playable at some point. That's interesting. He
is in your party at some point.
I think I know why, too. Like, it's starting to, shape up. It's kind of interesting. Is he a time traveler?
Have you gone to,
Is he Yanis, the kid with the cat?
Okay, so if you wanted to send voicemails, here's how you do it right here.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
It's that simple. Yeah. Anyway, so how do you feel about our non-live venture here?
I thought it was pretty good. Got a little dark, maybe darker than it would have if people were looking over my shoulder being like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't say that 4 times over the course of a show without getting in big trouble somewhere. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think it's
therapeutic.
It might be healthy to do it this way. And the reason why we started doing this, I guess I'll just clarify quickly. We do work together now. There will very seldom be a time where we are home at the same time. Sort of.
Yeah.
Thing, like where we've had a day off. So, in the interest of just trying to keep things maybe a little bit more scheduled, it's impossible to schedule a live show at this point. But, on the plus side, when we do have the opportunities that we could do a streaming thing, we can go more all out and have fun with it. We could maybe do a mumble chat and get people playing a game with us sort of thing, like a community night.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could just do random game night sort of things where we play a game together. We could do other stuff and not feel like we have to do a stream sort of thing. So when we do, we're actually really into it sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. No sense of obligation. It's just, organic.
And this is never really an obligation. It's fun. I think we enjoy doing this. It's just that working a schedule around,
and I haven't been full-time in a long time, so this is a whole different...
It's a new ball game.
Right. Well, it would normally be hey, Paul has some free time, and of course Nathan does, because he works 2 days a week. So, good to go. Whereas now it's no, dude, I'm here for 10 hours. Oh,
we grew up.
Exactly. We grew up.
We sold out?
No, I don't know.
Would you sell out?
I don't know, it depends. Would I do a song in the Lego movie? Hell no. But, if someone was
I think that's
hey,
where you and I differ then.
Okay.
If somebody was hey, you know that name Pixel Response, well, I would just be no, it's sold. You don't even have to finish that sentence.
It's oh, good, well, I'm from Lego, and we were going to make Lego Pixel Response figures, but okay. So no one in your organization would have any problems with that whatsoever? No, we're fine. I own the bill, so, I own the site.
No, see... Sold. That's the thing. I
turn around and there's Lego Nathan, and I'm what the fuck? This is exactly what I said.
I was just about to say, too, that it's so there's no one else in your organization that would have a problem. I would just be I am the organization.
I know, but the Krasnor character rights.
It would be one of those big reveals at the end of Metal Gear Solid where it's just I am the organization.
Yeah, the phone conversation after the fact. It's just so, Mr. Fleck, We're very interested in your pixel response website.
For Lego. It's like
double agent. Yep.
We're also very excited or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's no one else in your organization that could be opposed to this? I am the organization.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. It's like we're also talking to Daft Punk for the sequel. Dun, dun, dun.
And then it would do some terrible techno Daft Punk remix of Lego or something.
Yeah. Or it's like Metal Gear Daft Punk cover.
Metal Gear Daft Punk. How would that even go?
I'm trying to think, like, how would the core theme
for Metal Gear?
Yeah.
It's like
So yeah, it'd just be that, but like more electronic and repetitive.
It'd be like or something. I don't. That's more like Korn. There actually is a remix like that.
Awesome.
That you were just doing, and it's actually very good.
Okay.
So they're actually... It's not Daft Punk soundy, though. It's just kind of like weird internet remix soundy.
Metal Gear Techno Trance Mix. I just found something called that. I bet it's great.
There you go. Again, thank you for your patience and understanding and support and all that. And we will see you all on the flip side.
Transmix.